Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
I love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Well. Richard Zane is in studio with no real TV on.
That was 3 wells. Dwight.
Well. Yeah, it was 3.
6 now.
That's true. But you said it a couple of times, too.
If I say it one more time, does that go from 6 to 9?
Buddy, today's a big day.
Why is that? Why is today a big day? Is it because
today's the last day without OB?
Wow, hurtful.
No.
It's not even 8:02 and he's already
no.
taking shots. He already wants his normal co-host back.
I mean,
Bronny and I haven't been good enough for him this week.
I think you've been pretty good.
Well, Bronny, obviously hasn't been good enough. But I
You've been
take
great.
offense to that.
You've been
and
great.
I only had to do 2 segments with you without Stephen McGee, where he was the focal point.
Stephen was great yesterday, as he always is.
He always is.
But no, today's a big show because it's a Billy show. Okay?
Always a big show.
And we've had a couple practices in the can to discuss. And that's pretty much the only reason it's a big show.
Yeah. Well, also a big weekend, I guess, this weekend because more commencements across the street. Another summer graduates are going to walk the stage at Texas A&M University today. Congratulations to all those Aggies who finally earned their diplomas. And I can't remember the exact number, but I think it's like 7, maybe, student athletes are going to be among the summer commencement ceremonies today, or this weekend. So congratulations to all of those who pulled double duty, student and athlete. Student still comes first, in my opinion.
So I want to start off today with a segment, something that Billy touched on second-year transfers. And I want us to kind of look back and then look ahead, all right? I look at this season when I say look ahead. So last year, Billy was really the only one at this point talking about how big of a year Cassius Howell could have.
Yes.
Second, we all saw that he showed some flashes, right?
Sure.
But that was that. Marcus Ratcliffe last year, second-year transfer. I don't know how much expectations we had about him going into the season. And I just kind of want to apply that thinking to some of the names that Billy put out there for this year. Because last season does not happen with those names that I mentioned. You don't go 11-2 without Cassius Howell having, a defensive player of the year kind of season, right? Marcus Ratcliffe becoming a huge part, an integral piece of that defense. There were others. Armani Reed Adams, second-year player. He was really good his first year. But I'm talking about that leap. And that leap can be because there's people in front of you. That leap can be because you have developed under the system. There's many reasons, right? You're more comfortable in SEC play, whatever it may be. So the names that Billy threw out there, I think, are all ones that we can tackle for a couple minutes. He has Micah Riley on there. He has TJ Searcy and Julio Humphrey.
Okay. So Micah Riley, you should expect a bigger impact from him at the tight end position this year. If you missed the press conference on Tuesday, I highly suggest you go back and listen to it. There's an obvious reason why Micah Riley is a captain on this team and was selected by his peers to be part of the leadership group on this team this fall. Plus, unbeknownst to me, maybe other people knew it, he was playing hurt for a couple years. Back to his time at Auburn, had a shoulder issue, a torn labrum.
Didn't he say, I think it started in high school? I feel like he may have said that.
He definitely said it was during his time at Auburn for sure. So he played all year last year where he's essentially a special teams guy and a blocking tight end because he didn't have full range of motion in his shoulder. But he's had surgery in the offseason. That's corrected. So now he's expecting to take on more of a blocking and receiving role at the position, and we know how much A&M likes to use the tight ends. So that's another weapon for A&M. And you hear a lot about how first-year transfer, Richie Anderson might have the best hands on the team, and Houston Thomas, coming from UTSA, saw what he could do when the Roadrunners came up to Kyle Field last year. But don't sleep on Mike O'Reilly, because he's not just the vocal leader. He's expecting to be more of an impact on the field, on offense and special teams this season.
Yeah, that tight end room, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if they'll be better than they were last year. I'm not saying that and they can't be, but just when you think about what Nate Borkacher was able to do, and really Theo had some good moments.
Well, go back
right?
to last year this time. Were we really talking about how much of an impact Nate Borkacher would have on this football team?
Not at all.
And now he's got at least one moment that's going to live on, for years in Texas A&M football lore. I wasn't at TexAgs, neither were you, back before Jay Sternberger's first season in the program.
Were they talking about him?
Were we talking about Jay Sternberger having a huge impact? I don't know.
Yeah.
And he went on to be an All-American in one season.
Another guy, second year, who I think we saw flashes last year is TJ Searcy.
And that's kind of the guy that's in the same mold of Cassius Howe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw flashes, and then he stepped in to be the guy coming off the edge, right? That's what Cassius Howe did last year, en route to SEC Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm not sure TJ Searcy has to do that. He's going to have a supporting cast that can certainly help him, whether that be Marco Jones or Anto Saka, who I know is one of your favorites, Anto. And, of course, I'm going to forget a couple names also coming off the edge. And then don't forget the guys on the interior as well. So going to have to find the pass rush. But all eyes, certainly, it's easy to fall on TJ Searcy because he is the second guy, or he is in his second year in the program. He got to learn under Cassius Howe last year. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of year he has. Oh, and don't forget, he's been in this league for a number of years already, back to his time at Florida. So he knows what it takes to compete in the SEC, and I think that's important. Not to say that Anto Saka doesn't know what it takes, because he has competed in a very big league, the second biggest league, in my opinion, in college football. Sorry to the Big Ten fans out there.
Size-wise, they're the biggest.
But, yeah, that's true. 18 teams compared to 16.
But only four.
And then people like to scoff at his production because, what was it, 4.5, 3.5 sacks last year, but he could easily be doubled and triple teamed coming off the line for Northwestern. So TJ Searcy is a guy to circle off the edge as well.
And then the other one, Julio Humphrey. And by the way, if you see a theme here with all three of these guys that we're talking about, all have SEC experience, right? Julio Humphrey was a starter for 10 games at Georgia. For whatever reason, he fell out of favor there. And then he comes here, and Des Ricks and Will Lee had a stranglehold of that position. He has done a lot of work. He took advantage of this spring when there was an injury. Ricky Gibson couldn't really do much of spring, so he had a really good camp, or a good spring camp, I should say. And his production this year, I think, could go a long way because we're talking about the depth, right? You don't want any drop off at all, whoever is the guy. And by the way, Julio Humphrey, in his opinion, he's like, I'm fighting for that starting spot.
Yeah, Julio Humphrey fighting for that starting spot. Ricky Gibson, Jamar Beal-Goins, Brandon Arrington, and I mean, there's a reason. Des Rex, of course, Jordan Shaw. There's a reason why Mike Elko described the secondary. I know we talked about this a lot yesterday when we were doing 25 and 25 with Tafik Bayard. There's a reason why he described the secondary as perhaps the best he's coached at Texas A&M. And it's because of guys like Julio Humphrey, who have the experience in this league, who were around last year, knows what it takes to get to the SEC, or to be knocking on the door of the SEC championship game, to get to the playoff, all of that. But the Aggies want to go further, right? It's going to take a talented secondary to get there, and Julio Humphrey is a big reason why. But there's guys around him, and we talked about it with Bayard. Iron sharpens iron. Competition at the position, fighting for those starting spots, is only going to make Humphrey better, and Ricks better, and Gibson better, and on down the line at the cornerback spot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's do three things that we want to see, brought to you by the Brazos Running Company, your local Aggie-owned specialty running store where you can find Brooks on Hoka shoes, located at Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station. And the way I want to tackle this, because we're not going to be able to watch practice Saturday, right? So I want to talk about things that we want to see, three things we want to see on players who can raise A&M's floor, okay? And I picked some names, but you can pick different names. We're just players that can raise A&M's floor. And what I mean by that is, obviously, you could say the quarterback. Let's go a little deeper. Positions that matter, that if they play at the level that the guy that was there before plays at, or if they just reach their potential, what that does for A&M's floor. I'll give you a couple names. Dalton Brooks.
Yes.
Dalton Brooks has always been good. I think he hasn't reached his full potential just yet. If he reaches that full potential, what does that do for the Aggie defense?
What does that do for Dalton Brooks, right? Because he's senior potential NFL draft, well, definitely NFL draft. How high can he play himself up draft boards and all of that? He's been here a long time. He knows Mike Elko's system. He knows the scheme. He's a leader on the back end for a reason. Yes, I agree with you. What if he has a great year? If he gets his hands on more footballs too, because we've seen what he can do when he's a runner. Yeah. What does that do for the Aggie defense? Got to start forcing more turnovers. I think Dalton Brooks could be that guy on the back end of the defense. And if he has a great year, I think the Aggie defense will have a great year.
Another one, Reuben Owens. If he reaches that 5-star potential that he has flirted with at times, but not consistently, that's another guy that raises that floor significantly.
That was the name that I immediately went to when you were introducing this little topic. And I'm doing some research on Reuben Owens. I'm trying to write something about him today because I'm not only doing Olin's job on the Go Hour, I'm also trying to produce some decently written football content this week. I know I'm not the best at it because the baseball guys tried to do football, but Reuben Owens, when he talked to the media Wednesday after practice, he's talking about his goal of being a 1,000-yard rusher. Went back and looked. A&M's only had 7 such seasons since joining the SEC, and one of those was by a quarterback. Mm-hmm. You know, Travion Williams did it twice. Isaiah Spiller did it twice. So I believe that's 5 different guys for 7 seasons. If he were to join an exclusive list, how much better, and we kind of talked about this a little bit yesterday on this segment, how much better is the Aggie offense?
How much better is Marcel Reed?
Exactly. Because you have to respect Marcel Reed's legs. And if you will listen to all of Marcel's teammates, they will tell you that he's not just a running quarterback. Mm-hmm. You have to respect what he can do with his arm. So if Reuben Owens and the running back core, because I don't think he has to do it just on his own. No. Because we saw flashes from Jamarian Morrow last year, and everyone raves about Tiger Ryden and raves about KJ Jefferson and Carson Baker as well. If those 5 guys can produce not just a competent ground game, but an attack on the ground, I think that helps Marcel Reed and the rest of the offense out significantly because he's got so many weapons. I think if you're talking about raising A&M's floor, Reuben Owens having a great year might be the one to highlight as the number 1 player who could raise the floor. However, he's going to have to do that with an offensive line that comes together and gels and blocks for him.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to actually give you 2 other names, so it'll be more than 3 things we want to see. Here's one that I think doesn't have. If he just does what he did last year, A&M's offense is great. But if he raises his game the way I think he has, he's put on muscle and he's healthy. If ABR becomes a 1A option with, oh, by the way, Mario Craver, a 1A option, and I believe Isaiah Horton also a 1A option or a 1B option. If you have those 3 guys, and by the way, later we're going to talk about another guy that could get in the mix, but if ABR continues what he did at the end of last season, does it for 12 games, and even just raises it a tad bit, what does that do for that offense? You don't miss KC as much. I mean, you're going to miss KC. You can't be better without a first rounder going to the NFL, right?
Right.
But if he can reach some of those levels with that speed, I mean, Billy called it the fastest guy in the second or in the wide receiver room. So if he raises his level, what does that do?
I know we talk about Mario Craver a ton, and rightfully so. He's an all-SEC receiver. I know we talk about Isaiah Horton a ton, and rightfully so, because he was maybe A&M's the offense's biggest pickup in the portal. Literally and figuratively, because of the size he brings to the receiver position. But I do think we're sleeping on Ashton Bethel-Roman, at least nationally. I don't think we're sleeping on him here in Aggieland because we've seen what he can do, whether it be a crazy one-handed catch in Baton Rouge on a Louisiana Saturday night or the full extension catch against South Carolina that we're looking at right here, that this comeback doesn't happen if he doesn't reel that in. He's more than just the highlights. He's got to become more than just the highlights on a consistent basis. And if he can do that, then, I mean, that's going to be 4 receiving weapons, and we haven't even mentioned Aaron Gregory. So
let me give you one more name to consider. Reese Nagler made a face, didn't he?
Well, in It's a running bit in the among the younger guys here. Anytime Aaron Gregory gets mentioned, because that's Woo's guy.
Oh yeah,
like that's Woo's favorite football player of all time. Like Woo's got AG. He has a room reserved in Canton, Ohio already before he plays a game in college football.
Well, that's good.
And he might. He's got a high ceiling. He's a 5-star receiver out of Georgia for a reason. But anytime AG gets mentioned, you're gonna get a little bit of a look from whether it be Woo or Danny or maybe even the guys in the back.
How about Noah McHale?
Ooh.
Okay, so
big shoes to step into.
Huge, right? And look, Ray Coney, we talked about him the other day. I don't know who's going to emerge, but I saw so much from Noah McHale at the end of last year. And also the spring game, he popped as well. If he reaches that level, what if he exceeds Torian York's, level? That's going to be hard to do. Torian was a fan favorite and an Aggie favorite, right? But what if Noah McHale reaches that potential?
For as great as Torian was at Texas A&M, both as a leader and a guy with high football IQ, keep in mind and remember that he was still a little bit limited athletically, but he made the most of what he had. Noah McHale's not a guy who's really limited athletically. He's got it all. So if he could take that next step to get to where Torian was between the years, while playing alongside a healthy Damian Sanford, while also being pushed by Ray Coney, I like what the linebacker core potentially has this year.
Let's tell the people the name of the show, Richard.
This is TexAgs Live, brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. They're the presenting sponsor. A gem of a guy, David Gardner.
And we are in the what?
This is the Rollo Insurance Studio, my friend.
This is the Go Hour presented by the warehouse at CC Creations. Oftentimes, we start the show over there. We call that?
That's the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
It is very cool to hang out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can call us up on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. That number is
979-693-1150. I'll give it to you again. 979-693-1150.
Well, if you text that number, that becomes the what?
That is the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. Reese Nygren's drinking one right now. What flavor is that, Reese?
This is the Orange Dream.
Oh,
in my
solid.
opinion, the best
Solid.
one.
I'm a big citrus spark guy, but that's a
Orange
1B for
Orange
me.
Dream.
Yeah. Huh. Sounds like a good title. I like that.
It is.
Orange Dream.
It's really good.
And let's go around the room.
Okay, sorry. I
Let's go
know
left to
we heard
right.
from Reese.
Let's go say hi to panicking Cade Bickham. Have you panicked this morning?
No, I haven't, actually. It's been a pretty chill morning.
Oh, well, just wait.
No, just wait?
Just wait.
Oh, you got something in store for me?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
goodness.
going to throw you for a loop, Cade Bickham.
Well, let's not do that. Well, Nick Savage is here now, so he'll be taking over after this segment. I'm like the opener for a baseball game today. I'm pitching the first inning.
Are you the opener for a baseball game?
And Nick Savage is taking over after.
Well, if I want to go with an opener, I'll go with the All-American club baseball left-hander, and that's Cade Bickham, because at the very least, I know we're not down 5-0 out of the first inning.
Well, I always think he was more of an opener for a comedian, and you think you're going to go watch Kevin Hart, and then this guy named Joe shows up, and he's kind of funny, but that's the kind of opener.
The best acts don't need openers, right? The best acts are just themselves.
Yeah, but sometimes they do. They still bring their people.
Fair.
Yes.
Touche.
Cade, you're one of our people. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Reese Nygren.
Howdy, good morning.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Not much. I'm checking out the YouTube, what?
It's awkward.
I like it.
Not much. I was just
Okay. Checking out the YouTube comment.
That was awkward too.
Checking out the YouTube comment page. They brought up the kicking position as a floor raiser because last year we saw A&M 61.5% field goal percentage. David Alano 87% last year. Think about how much different the season looks if you have a reliable kicking.
Specialist in general, and I know David Alano and Asher Murray are the two guys that are factoring into the kicking spot, place kicking duties, but Tyler White, every time he comes on and sits on this set and does huddle interviews, he acknowledges that last year wasn't a good year for him after he was a Ray guy, semifinalist, maybe even a finalist as a freshman. So the specialist as a whole, if they could raise the ceiling, because we talk about all the time, it's a 3-phase game, and you got to win in all 3 phases.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back. I want you to read a text. I didn't read it, but I think something about Brad Crawford. Did he say something about A&M? All right, just read it now. There's no reason to wait. Just do it. No? Okay. Reese wants to wait. He's like, I didn't know
Reese is calling the shots now. Big dog over there in the social center. He's telling the boss, we'll wait.
Was there something I don't want to read about it? Or you
No, I just figured we'd wait.
Oh.
Okay, Reese. Okay, it's crazy.
That's incredible.
He looked at you and said, "I'm the captain now."
No, we're not going to do this. Not only did you make it awkward, you made it like that you're the boss.
The show's been hijacked by Reese Nygren.
We can read it.
No, I've lost interest.
Okay. Yeah, we're out.
In fact, I don't know if we're going to go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. That's what
You're
I
in timeout now.
Okay.
Yeah. I will tell you that a true story. This is not a fake true story. Sometimes I do fake true stories. Like they could have happened.
Okay.
This is a real one. I went to 1775 yesterday.
Oh.
And I saw my friends there. Brad, Brandon, Belinda, the whole crew, right? And of course they said, hey, it's been a while since we've seen you. I had to explain, I don't really go out to lunch often. Ola comes all the time. We see Olin all the time. And I felt like a 2%er. We got the sampler. Incredible. I brought Ryan from Space City Home Network. It was great. I got the queso mac and cheese. I was full for about 7 hours.
Yeah, I was going to ask, if you went out to 1775, what did that do to your afternoon workout schedule? Because you're going to put yourself in a food coma because you can't stop. The food's that good.
Yeah, no, I had to push it back. It was pushed back by an hour.
Okay.
There was a little moment of like, I'm going to get on the couch and just kind of
Did you get a nap? Did you get a nap?
I got a little 17-minute cat nap.
It'll do that to you.
Yeah.
Because it's that good and it's worth it.
It was a deep sleep too. I looked at my Oura ring like, oh, I got like 18 minutes on there. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of awkward too. Anyway, go to 1775 if you want good food and to be in a coma, but in a good coma, not the bad kind of coma way. The phone number, 979-492-6. That was awkward too, right?
Oh, what, being in a coma? Yeah, you don't want to be in a coma. Food comas for sure.
Different.
But like if you're needing a quick cat nap, and 1775 sets the stage for it because it's fantastic food, and you're going to eat a lot of it because it's that good. And then, you can catch up on a couple Z's.
So check out the website, 1775txbbq.com.
It's good!
Hey everyone, David Nuno here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. Hey everybody, David Nuno here, TexAgs Live, here with Sheldon and Danny Shelley of Aggieland Hydration. Sheldon, I want to start off with you. What is Aggieland Hydration and who do you serve?
So we're a mobile IV company. We serve the Bryan College Station area, and we are licensed under our medical director to work anywhere in the state of Texas, but given the name, we're focused on the Bryan College Station area.
Danny, how do appointments work?
So when a client calls in, they can call into our main line, or we have an online booking process. We get a quick little bit of information, name, date of birth, the address of where we're going to go, kind of what's going on. We give that information over to our nurse, and usually they can arrive within 30 minutes to an hour.
Danny, who's this geared towards? Is it more for like sick people, athletes, people who've been partying? Who is this for?
All the above.
Okay.
And it just really depends on what you're getting after. Sheldon travels a lot, so I give him an IV once a week. Some people get it just as needed, like when they're sick or if they've been working, in the yard all weekend, if they just had a big workout, stuff like that.
And all right, Sheldon, help me out. Why do I not just drink a bunch of water or juice? Like, why go the IV route?
Yeah, so drinking water orally, you don't absorb it all. So getting a liter of fluids into your bloodstream directly, you feel the results better. And it's equivalent to drinking about almost 2.5 gallons of water.
All right, that's Aggieland Hydration. How do people check you out?
Then go to our website at aggielandhydrationandinjectables.com.
Or you can call them up at 979-217-1561. It is Aggieland Hydration. We're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's check in with Reese Nygren, who now has the ability to check his internet. Nygren, why don't you text Groove it and read that text we were discussing?
Yeah, so the text we were discussing came from Ron and Irving, who said, Brad Crawford of CBS Sports has A&M losing 5 games. He said it on 680 The Fan in Atlanta this morning.
What are the 5 games? He just said that they're going 7-5?
Yeah, that was the...
Okay, Ron, that's his opinion.
Yeah.
Let's not get on to Ron.
I'm
Ron
not mad
is
at
just
Ron.
No, yeah.
Ron
it
is
was Brad Crawford.
yeah.
No, I'm not even mad at Brad Crawford.
No, I'm not mad. It's like, these are preseason predictions, and it's a guy who doesn't really cover A&M all the time.
How many teams?
And also, to your point, I'm sure to take the words out of your mouth, there's so much like variability in everybody's projection this year. If you go look at the Vegas win numbers, like the over-unders, it seems like all of them are a game lower than I would expect for that specific team.
We're going to play a game, okay?
Okay.
The game is, how many one-possession games did A&M play in the last 2 years?
Okay. Oh, 2 years.
Yep.
Do you want me to pull up the schedule?
I got it right here.
Which one do you?
I got it. I got both years. You want to do 25? I'll do 24. Okay. We're gonna go in. What was it? We're gonna go. I don't know why the order is completely off, but Miami playoff game, one possession game.
Yep.
There's one. Okay, Texas was not. Sanford was not. Let's see what else. South Carolina, one possession game. That's 2. Okay. Arkansas, one possession game. That's 3. Okay. Auburn, one possession game. That's 4. And Notre Dame, one possession game, 5.
5 in 1 year.
Okay.
In the best year that A&M's had since 2020. So I say that to you, one bad play goes the wrong way in the Arkansas game. I don't think A&M was ever going to lose the Arkansas game, but you could have lost the Notre Dame game, both show. Right?
Well, the Arkansas game this year, I know on paper the final score, one possession game, but Arkansas never had the ball, never possessed the football with the chance to tie or take the lead.
What happens? There's a fumbled snap on accident. My point is, one possession game, you could have lost those games with one bad play. Now go to 25.
In 24, I have one possession game against Bowling Green, 26-20. One possession game against Arkansas, 21-17. One possession game in a 4 overtime loss to Auburn.
Okay.
And then one possession game in the bowl game, lost to USC.
So I'm just going to say 3
9.
there.
So
not
counting the bowl game, 8. Bowl game, 9.
No,
in 2 years.
Yeah.
In 2 years.
Well, how many one possession games did they win last year? Of those 5.
All of them but Miami.
All of them but Miami? They were 2-2 in Mike Elko's first season in one possession games.
So the point being is 7-5 is not a ridiculous thought, and neither is 11-1, right? Because if half of your SEC games, or almost half, are going to be one possession games, it's what they were doing in January, what they were doing in April, what they were doing right before the season and fall camp that all adds up. And are you at your best at the end of games? And are you at your best at the end of the season?
Also, what does the personnel look like at the end of the season?
Right.
Because as one of the baseball guys here at TexAgs, the opening day starting lineup, that 9 is not going to look like what it looks like in game 162. It never is, because injuries and stuff, like people not playing well, not performing. Same thing with your starting 11 on both offense and defense.
Another thing I want to add, I think A&M was significantly better than Florida.
Yes.
Okay, they won by 17. But if you remember that game, they were up by, what was it? They were up by 7 entering the fourth quarter. That game was in the balance, right? It could have swung any way entering the fourth quarter, even though A&M was the better team throughout that game. It could have easily, what if Florida would have stopped A&M and gone down and scored? These are big what ifs, but it just shows you how close the game was for 3 quarters. It was tied 14 at the end of the first. A&M had a 21-14 lead at the end of half. Then it was 3-3 in the third quarter. The game was a tight game until it wasn't. So
to your point, if you go back to the Texas game 2 years ago, Texas controlled the game for most of it, almost all of it. But that Will Lee interception gave you life. The pick 6, one play could change the game.
So to go back to Brad Crawford's thoughts, I don't think they're going to go 7-5. I mean, I would. The show would be miserable. Okay, the post-game wrap would suck. Right? I'm just telling you the facts. Okay, Leone would have a meltdown on the air. CT would calm us both down. Harrington would be like, dude, I don't know what to do now. Like, I'm telling you what it would feel like. All right. Billy would tell me, let's just see how it plays out, and he's usually right when he says that. That can happen in the SEC. It can happen for Texas, by the way. I don't think it's going to happen to Texas. But are there 5 losable games on Texas's schedule?
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. There's more than 5 on their schedule.
That's life in this league. And that's going to be life with the 9-game scheduling model. We talked about that yesterday and ad nauseum since they've added it.
And outside of the FPI, whatever it's called, that they do at ESPN, and I don't even like that one, nobody knows. How do you know how good a team's going to be when 46% of the roster's new? Like, everybody based their opinion on last year. That's how sports radio, we all suck. Okay. Oh, what happened in 24? It doesn't matter what happened in 24. It's a new year.
I'm looking at Texas's 26 schedule right now. Ohio State, losable game. Tennessee, because of where you have to go and because you're playing a team that might be desperate, could be a losable game. Oklahoma and the Cotton Bowl. Rivalry games, you hear all the time. Throw the schedules, throw the records out the books. Losable game. I'm not saying Texas is going to lose all of these games.
No, but
for sure.
Could they lose the first
You get
3?
Ole Miss at home, and if Trinidad Chambliss is still healthy, he's the best quarterback in this league. No disrespect to Arch Manning or anybody else out there. Losable game. LSU, you got to go there late in the season. Who knows what LSU is going to be this year?
Yep.
But Death Valley, we heard about it for 30 years about how Texas A&M couldn't win there. Losable game. Then you come to College Station, Kyle Field, to close of the year, losable game. How many was that? Was that 5 losable games on Texas' schedule?
I think that was
6. 6 losable games.
Okay, maybe that's just the Aggie and me showing.
No, I mean,
you could make the argument, but Texas is a good team. They're probably not going to lose all those games.
Of those 6 at Tennessee and Knoxville was the one where you're kind of like, but you still have to go to Knoxville.
And if you go look at what Texas has done over the last few years at home, DKR has become kind of a home field advantage for them. They could lean on Ole Miss there late, too.
Yeah, but again...
And A&M hasn't beaten them since 2011, so we're going to hear all about that. They're going to be favored in that game until A&M beats them.
If you can lose at 4-win Florida one year... You could lose in Knoxville, which is usually an 8 to 9 win team at least.
Don't Aggies know that better than most? I mean,
Mississippi
Appalachian State. State.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ugh. This has been a depressing segment. Can we
I think the whole point of it was you can point for any of these teams. Like Brad Crawford could have gotten probably a bunch of retweets by saying Texas could go 7-5. Nobody wants to believe it because they got Cam Coleman. Oh, he's great. A&M wanted him, no doubt. But these games are typically tight. And if you trust the man calling the plays, and I'm saying Elko in this case because he's the head guy, right? Or Sark for them, or Pete Golden for Ole Miss, for Lane Kiffin for LSU. If you trust that guy, then those swing games that could go either way tend to go the way the better coaches, the team that's coached better, will win those games more often than not.
I feel more confident in A&M's ability to pull out victories in one-score games under the current regime than in the past couple.
Yep. Let's hit a break. We will come back. We'll do 25-25. We're supposed to do it here, but of course Nygren wouldn't have read the thing I wanted him to read at the 8 o'clock segment, so we had to push it to the 8:20.
If he had read that and we went on that diatribe, like this would have been our first break right here at 8:30.
That's a good
point.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point.
He's playing 4D chess with us over there.
But he's not the boss.
No, he's not.
Can you imagine? I just tell Billy when he shows up, no, we're doing Tuesdays.
I've heard
that's not how it works. No, Billy, we're doing Tuesdays. Not Mondays and Fridays, just Tuesdays. You think he's going to handle that well?
Well, we tried to get him to wear a certain shirt on air earlier this week, and he was not having it.
A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com if you're looking for a selection that won't break the bank, or if you're a business owner and you're looking to add some cars to your fleet of vehicles, check out Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They are a newly designated business elite dealer, which means they understand what it takes to keep your company moving forward. And when you buy vehicles there, you're going to get that great customer service that they're known for, and it's going to last through the lifetime of that vehicle. So you get that free oil change for life. That is something that's going to save you thousands of dollars. They believe in supporting local businesses, and they believe in supporting Aggie athletics. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryant to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. We are back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is now time for 25 in 25, brought to you by Paragon Financial Advisors, that are an Aggie-owned and independent fee-only fiduciary serving firms, families, and business owners nationwide. Visit paragon-adv.com. And Richard Zane, number 16 on the list, is
Terry Bussey.
Terry Bussey. Now, everybody's talking about how jacked he looks.
Yes.
And we already spent time, I think it was yesterday or the day before, or both days. Like, it was with McGee. It doesn't matter how strong somebody looks, can they play?
Yeah, well, no. McGee's words were that speed kills.
Speed kills.
And Terry Bussey has that in spades. I know we talk about Ashton Bethel-Roman as possibly the fastest receiver or fastest player on the Aggie roster. I would pay good money to watch a race, a 40-yard dash between the two of them, Terry Bussey and Ashton Bethel-Roman. I would love to see who comes out on top in that race.
I agree with McGee partially about that can you play or not, right? But I do think commitment to excellence is shown sometimes in your body from one year to the next. Now, that doesn't mean if you're not working on your routes and your route running and your speed, of course, none of that's going to, or your hands, it may not all come together. But that young man who just continues to get better and has learned a new position on the fly at Texas A&M in the SEC, has put in a lot of work. He's got the speed. He's got the versatility. You can use him as a running back. You can use him as a wideout. You can use him in your kick and punt return game. You can use him so many different ways. And I think this is the year we finally see him deployed as a full-time asset weapon.
The thing you pointed out was learning a new position on the fly. Keep in mind, he kind of learned two positions on the fly since he got here at Texas A&M. This is a high school quarterback at Timpson out in East Texas, and kind of feel out of place talking about a kid from East Texas because Olin Buchanan's the East Texas king, the pizza king. But Terry Bussey comes in, and he's going to play corner as a true freshman. And then because of injuries at wide receiver, he shifted. But remember, he came in late, right? He missed spring. He wasn't an early enrollee after Mike Elko took the reins here. And then there were injuries last year. So this was really his first true full offseason, and you've seen the byproduct of being able to work in the weight room with Tommy Moffitt and get another spring under his belt as a wide receiver. And that's why so many people are buying stock in Terry Bussey right now, and rightfully so. Because what can he do at the receiver position now that he's got more time under his belt, and there's also other weapons around him that can allow the offensive coordinator, Holman Wiggins, and the rest of that crew to deploy him correctly.
Is he a wide receiver 3 or 2? Is he a gadget player? Is he a wildcat expert? Is he a return specialist? Whatever it may be.
I think the answer might be all of the above.
All of the above, which to me, if I'm a defensive coordinator, like Bussey's on the field,
if he becomes what everyone sees the potential as, then he's a guy that you have to know where they are
jet sweeps,
all times.
Whatever,
yes.
Right? Like you can use him in so many different ways. And I don't think he looked like a big dude before. And he looks like a big dude now. So, how much stronger is he? How much more explosive is he with that? I think all those things are going to play to his favor this year.
And I would love nothing more than for Terry Bussey to have a big year. Now, his third year in the program. Because when he comes in here and he talks to us, he's quiet. He's so humble.
Yeah.
He seems like a good kid, and he's easy to root for. Small kid from a kid from a small town. He's not small anymore. Certainly, I'm in no position to call anybody small. But Terry Bussey's easy to root for, and you just hope it clicks for him on the field during games.
And I think before people start like, man, it hasn't worked out yet. Like, not the way. But you got to also think about it hasn't had to work out completely when you've got Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver in that wide receiver room.
Sure.
Like, it didn't have to just yet. Like, it's okay that it takes time, just like it's taken ABR time, right?
Yeah.
It's taken time for ABR to take the certain leaps. That's fine. It's called development.
And development and high school recruiting, Terry Bussey was a key target when Mike Elko arrived. Development and high school recruiting still have to be the lifeblood of your program, even now in the portal era. And Terry Bussey is an example of that, if he were to reach the levels people think he is capable of reaching. Because it doesn't have to click right away. Just because you're a 5-star prospect like Terry was, doesn't mean you have to be the superstar immediately.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time to get your feet wet and get used to the game and get used to the speed of the game at this level. And also learn new positions as Terry was, the read at wide receiver. So you can't just like sell the farm on a kid because it doesn't click immediately.
And I don't think anybody has, right? Like I mean,
but I know I'm not saying anybody has on Terry, but it's so easy to do so now in today's climate, and it's so easy for the kids to get out of their current situation because it's not working out for them. This is a guy who has stuck around. He's an Aggie, and hopefully he's going to see the fruits of his labor this fall.
Yeah, and to me, I think it'll also be interesting how Holman Wiggins uses him as opposed to the way he was used with Colin Klein.
Yep.
Different people, it could be a very similar offense, but different people see different strengths in others.
And Holman Wiggins, as the former wide receiver coach, probably going to have a good idea about the strengths of Terry Bussey's game.
And you remember, I mean, I don't think it comes up as often, but all-purpose yards. Terry Bussey's an all-purpose yards kind of guy.
Yep.
Right? It's not just, hey, can you get 600 yards receiving? It's about all-purpose with him because he's going to get you in the kick game. He's going to get you in the punt game. He's going to get you wide receiver. He's going to get you as a running back.
Yep, absolutely. Very versatile player. A Swiss Army knife for this Aggie offense.
All right, we're going to hit a break. More of that with Billy Liucci a little bit later. Right now, we're talking about Guarantee Bank and Trust, and they're the best. They're a community bank. And when's the last time the bank that you went to knew who you were when you walked in? They knew your situation. Maybe they knew your kids' names. I think that's the biggest difference between a community bank and just these big box banks. Guarantee Bank and Trust, they are relationship driven. They've always been that way. They have over a century experience of giving back to Texans, doing it the right way. And here in Bryan College Station, they got 3 awesome locations. And Brandon Sears is the guy who leads the charge. His team, they aren't just employees. They are in the fabric of this neighborhood. They are all a part of it. They coach you sports. They're just everywhere. You'll see them in local stores. And Guarantee Bank and Trust has got 33 locations in Texas. So they are a Texas bank, locally focused, and they're relationship driven. Visit gnty.com. That is gnty.com. Guarantee Bank and Trust, division of Glacier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Hey, I'm back. I'm actually back. I thought I was just sitting here just chilling.
What?
TexAgs Live. That's how I buy time for a little bit. I say the name of the show, and I can see what we're doing. We're doing Bank on It. Brought to you by Vera Bank. Authentic relationship-based banking built for real life. Go see Joel Jackson and the team. Learn more at verabank.com. What are you banking on?
Ooh, well, I know we're all thinking about football, right? But before you do Bank on It next Friday, there will be the first regular season game of the Texas A&M soccer season.
Yep.
That's Wednesday at Rice. So I am banking on Bobby Shuttleworth getting career victory #1 on Wednesday night down near the medical center on the campus of Rice University. So career victory #1 for Aggie soccer head coach Bobby Shuttleworth coming Wednesday. That's what I'm banking on.
I'm banking on an amazing season from both ABR and Terry Bussey to where they can go to the NFL, but they decide to be the two guys leading the team the following year. That's what I'm banking on here on TexAgs Live.
All right. That's a big bank on it.
I mean, I was just thinking on the fly. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. How have your friends been on the text and the YouTube chat?
They've been pretty good. They're just hanging around talking about football. Some people are criticizing us talking about people's weights and how jacked they look. John in Cyprus did not like.
I think John in Cyprus is kidding.
John in Cyprus doesn't even know my name, so
that is true. You guys
I'll
sure
take
do.
your criticism with a grain of salt, John in Cyprus.
Yeah, you guys sure do talk about other dudes' bodies a lot. Luke likes Bussy being jacked. Nuno tells ABR he's a total stud. What's next? Is Dinklage going to admire how big Moro's thighs are?
Is he calling me Dinklage? Like, is he calling me
I don't
Peter
know.
Dinklage?
I don't know who he's calling Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage is one of the
great actor.
classic actors of our time.
But I'm not that short.
I wouldn't take that as a shot.
No. Well, no. It would be a shot at height.
Yeah.
And I'm not that short.
No.
I'm short, but I'm not nearly that short.
Not that short.
And I'm also not that gifted of an actor.
You know what? It could be the opposite. We could talk about fat shame people. We could do that too. There is that.
But we do that plenty off air.
I don't do that
around this office.
Whoa.
Who do we fat shame? And don't do it.
I'm not. No names. No names. No names.
No names.
We actually do fat shame people?
No.
I never have.
Totally made up.
I mean, in my head, sure. Anyway, give us something here, Nigel.
Did you guys watch the Hall of Fame game last night? Any of it? The end of it? Haynes King.
I did see that he
Haynes
played.
King was spectacular.
Yeah, of course he
on
was.
the final drive. He also other Aggies performed in that game as well. But we'll talk about Haynes King first. Came in the second quarter, finished the game with 180 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns to go with 39 rushing yards, and of course the game-winning touchdown at the end. Will Lee and Damani Richardson also played for the Panthers. Will Lee had 4 tackles and 1 pass
So 3
breakup.
Aggies on that roster, and Nick Scorton, who's not playing.
Yeah, Nick Scorton, who was injured, probably would have played in that game as well. Damani Richardson had 2 total tackles, and Chase Basantis started at right guard for the Arizona Cardinals.
Holy smokes, it's an Aggie fest. I should have watched.
4 Aggies played in that game.
Can I admit that I didn't even know last night was the Hall of Fame game? Until I started seeing people tweet about Haynes King. It's like, wait, what should I have been watching?
I was at Aggie football practice, and then when I got home, I was like, I'm out. I'm tapping.
Yeah, we had a Haynes King versus Carson Beck special yesterday. Both quarterbacks played phenomenal yesterday. Haynes King obviously got the upper hand, winning the game.
It's wild that NFL preseason's already started. Because it
just started training camp like a week ago.
Where did the summer go?
I honestly thank you for coming, okay? Because it took too long to get here. What?
Okay.
Nick, can you class up the joint and give us something to think about in the last 40 seconds of the hour, please?
Okay. Just a question for you, I guess. 2 practices in. What have your biggest takeaways been, David? Because you've seen them up close in person.
I'm not obviously how big the guys are, right? Like, that's the big takeaway. Thanks, John.
I would say that, and to me, I know how to watch a football practice. I think we all do. Until we see the games, we don't know how to really analyze it. I will say the level that they're practicing at, to me, the speed from transition from place, they're not wasting time, okay? There's not like a BS time. It's like work, run to your next station, work, and they are, I think, a really nice oiled machine. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with Armani Watts on TexAgs Live. We'll do that next. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. We're going to go to the Buc-ee's Catering and Bartending Hotline because our next guest is one of the greatest defensive players ever at Texas A&M. Still owns the all-time sack record with 42 sacks. Our guest is Aaron Wallace. Aaron, what's up, man? How you been?
I'm good. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing wonderful, man. So let's talk about this newest accomplishment in your life, getting your master's degree in sports management from here, Texas A&M. Congratulations. Is that this weekend?
Yes, it's this weekend. It's funny how the whole story started. I had talked with John Thornton like every year at coaching school, and he kept talking about the program, and I kept telling him I was going to do it. So I ended up going back downtown to be an athletic director in Dallas ISD, and I had the time, so I went on back and finished it up, and I'll get the degree this Saturday.
Now, how does that work? How long did it take you, and was it challenging? Or maybe I tend to think, Aaron, I could be wrong here. Like, I'm not 18 to 22 anymore, and I didn't really study well back then. I feel like I could study better now, but life happens. So, like, how was it for you?
It's about like you just said. I mean, it was very challenging because I hadn't been in school in years, and the technology and all the different stuff they have now. You know, it was very challenging. But you know, if I set my mind to something, I like to accomplish it, and that was one of the things I wanted to do. I mean, I'm at that age right now. I'll probably be retiring pretty soon anyway, but. You know, it was just something I wanted to do. And I felt that it would make me better at what I do right now. So I just took the time to do it because I had it, you know.
So catch us up. What are you doing these days, and how can this make you better at what you're doing?
Like I said, I'm assistant athletic director for Dallas ISD. We have like 22 high schools, 32 middle schools. We kind of divide the schools up, but we still work all together on making everything happen. And, you know, as a player, you're used to doing the stuff on the field. As a coach, you're used to taking care of a lot of the on-the-field stuff. But now I'm in a position where I'm doing more all the stuff behind the scenes, you know, like getting the workers and different stuff like that. So it really helped me a lot as far as the organization and as far as working with people with different learning styles, different management styles, you know, stuff like that. It was really a good program, and I wish a lot of more guys would get involved with it.
Aaron, what challenged you most? I mean, you're going through college, NFL career, you know, your athletic director background, or maybe this current thing that you're finishing up?
I think it was all challenging. I mean, you know, I came to A&M from Roosevelt in Dallas. You know, back then A&M was a different place than what it is right now. I went to the pros. You know, that's challenging every year. Somebody's trying to take your job. I did high school coaching. I was fortunate enough to be on some good teams and some bad teams. So right now as an athletic director, we're having a lot of success in Dallas. I think we had like probably 5 or 6 state. Well, I think it was 5 state championships last year, 2 state championships last year. So that makes it a lot better when you're winning and you're seeing the kids have success. And, you know, I don't coach at any of those schools, but I do a little part in all of them wherever, you know, they need the help.
Aaron, do these kids know your story? Like, I mean, you don't strike me as somebody who likes to talk about it, but like they got to Google you every once in a while and see the kind of beautiful career that you had.
You know, when I was coaching, the kids knew my story, but as an athletic director, I'm not as involved with the kids. So when they see me come around, you know, they just kind of, you know, I kind of stand back and let the coaches do what they do. But I have some coaches that do ask me to come and speak to the kids and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool.
Let's kind of go back to, as you're deciding on your future as a high school student, what made A&M the place that fit for your future?
Well, back then, I got to A&M, and it was like really just a culture shock from where I came from. You know, it was real different back then. A lot of cowboy hats and Wranglers, and you know, I was like, what have I got myself into? But as far as getting on the field and playing, it was just a great fit for me because we had Jackie Sherrill, we had Davies and all that, R.C. Slocum, you know, calling the defense, and it was just a great fit for me. So, I mean, like my freshman year, I think I had 10 sacks probably my freshman year. So I was very happy on the field as far as just playing. And off the field, it was good too. But I was just happy that I got into a system that could utilize my talent.
Can you kind of describe to our audience that maybe who didn't get to see it happen what it was to be an A&M football player in your day? Because, Kyle Field was an impossible place to come win at. The defense was ridiculous. There was an aura to that era of A&M football.
The aura was we were just different. I mean, it was a lot of guys, and I think we did an outstanding job of recruiting back then because we brought in some guys from Houston, guys from Dallas. Jackie Sherrill did an outstanding job and just putting all these guys together, and everybody had a likewise attitude. We had a quarterback in Kevin Murray that was just, he had been to the pros in baseball, and he was just one of those guys that was a natural leader. And then you just fall in line with the guys that he had around him, and everybody just kind of played together. Didn't nobody want to be the weak link. So every week, everybody just went out and played hard and made plays.
Talk to me about RC. What stands out about him as a person, as a leader, and just what he means to everybody who's played for him?
Not only in the beginning when he had us, but when he got the pieces that we had, and you had me on one side, you had Rope on the other side, you had Chet Brooks, and all that came together to be the wrecking crew. So it was just a lot of talented guys, and he put us in a position to succeed, and that's what we did. We went out and competed every week. It wasn't any lull in what we did. I mean, every week we were prepared. We went out and we won games. That's basically it.
When you think about your record of 42 career sacks, and it's still here with us, and what do you think about that kind of accomplishment when you look back at what you did and how it still stands the test of time?
Now that I look back on it, I realize how great it was. But when I was doing it, it was just something I did. I mean, I could get to the quarterback. That's what I love to do. I mean, I grew up watching pass rushes like Too Tall Jones and Harvey Martin with the Cowboys. And I just, that was just something I love to do. And as I look back on it now and I see Von Miller, I see Garrett, and I see, the rest of the pass rushes, it's just a great thing to know that I still have that record that probably, the way they move now, they probably won't get broken for a while. So, it's just something that I can tell my kids about, tell my friends about. I'm still real proud of it.
Well, so what do you think about the current era of college football? You got NIL, you've got all the movement. We'll see what the future holds with that. But just overall, you played in a completely different day. It's like night and day, the styles off the field that we see now, and really on the field too.
I wish I was playing right now. Maybe I could have some of that money these guys are getting. But, but right now, I'm split on it. I mean, I like to see the kids getting paid. I don't like the movement. I mean, when kids can go just play somewhere every year because you don't get that familiarity with the kid and, get to be a fan of the kid because they might be gone next year. I think that takes away a lot from the college game. But then at the bottom line is it's business. So until the NCAA or somebody does something about it, it's just going to be like that.
Aaron, you talked about how different College Station was when you came in the 80s. When's the last time you came by, and what do you think about what this community's become? It's, I'll put some words in your mouth, but it's it's a real city now.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different. My daughter just graduated from there probably about, 3 or 4 years ago. I still come down there once or twice a year and go to games or whatever, but it's completely different places. A lot of those places on the other side of the track with the country when I was out there, now it's houses and city, just city all over now. So I'm glad to see it, functioning and getting better and everything that's coming together down there. I mean, it's fun to see that it's not just a sleepy little country town anymore. It's getting into a big city.
What do you think about the job Coach Elko's done here in a couple of years?
I'm a great fan of him. I haven't met him. I go to coaching school. I go to coach at the kickoff every year, but I hadn't had a chance to meet him yet. But I think he's doing an excellent job. I mean, last year it was exciting. I mean, I guess it was a South Carolina game when they came back. they're doing some exciting things down there, and I just want to keep on seeing them get better. I was kind of disappointed at the end, though, that we couldn't come on through and get into that championship. But it was fun. It was fun to watch him and the team just compete every week.
Do you remember what your record was against Texas?
Never lost to Texas. I'm one of those, that group that I came to, my class, we never lost to Texas. So it was pretty much just a run back then. But we had fun. There was some enjoyable games. We came out and we played, and I don't know. It's just something about going to A&M and playing Texas. I love the bragging rights. I love to say that, we kick y'all butt, So it was pretty fun back then.
Aaron, I may have a different memory, but I feel like in the 80s and in the early 90s, you saw more A&M gear than anything else, right? Like this was, and A&M was the football program in the state.
Right. Well, that was all because, like I said, it was all because of what we were doing and the wrecking crew and all that. That stuff was large. Even after I retired and came back, after I retired from the NFL, I came back and got my first degree. So I was out of school like 10 years and came back to A&M, and they were still talking about the wrecking crew. So even today, they still talk about the wrecking crew. So we said something that has lasted, through time. It's just A&M gear. If I wear it right now, I get stopped. I was at the PGA. I live out in Frisco. I was at the PGA. I had on some A&M stuff, and the bartender ended up being Aggie, and we ended up talking and having fun and, just reminiscing on that time. It's timeless, basically. I mean, what we did is I think we had a lot to do with putting A&M on the map.
Well, Aaron, what do you think about not only Coach Oko, but the fact you got a defensive-minded guy leading the troops now? There's a couple offensive guys in the past, but when I think about A&M's glory days, I think about a tough wrecking crew defense, and I think that's what Coach Elko is instilling in this program again.
Like I said, it comes to the attitude, and I think a lot of that has to do with the way these guys are moving around and stuff too. I mean, we all played together for a long time, so we were cohesive. We knew what each other was doing on every play. I knew if we didn't get to the quarterback, I expected Chet and the guys on the back end to make plays, and basically they knew if they could have covered their guys for 2 or 3 seconds, either me or Roper were going to get to the quarterback. And I think that had a lot to do with our chemistry and us playing together. Now, if we could find a way to do that today and get these guys on the same page and you know what the other guy's doing, you know what plays you got to make, I think it'll be fine. I think we've been doing a good job. I think it was Sorensen and those guys. I think they've been doing a good job of getting to the quarterback and making things happen. So if these coaches can find a way to get that type of attitude and these guys, they're just going to play together for a year or two, then I know it's hard, but if you can do it, then you'll be successful.
Aaron, how much did A&M prepare you for the NFL?
I would say it was a lot. I mean, when I went to the NFL my first year, I got like 9 sacks. I made the all-rookie team and stuff like that. And that was just from doing the stuff that I did. But as I got to the NFL, I was kind of that in-between guy. And, they call them the edges now. But basically, back then, I don't even think they didn't really know. To me, in the system I was in, they didn't really know what to do with us, because they wanted me, because I ran a 4-4-5, and they wanted me to cover receivers and do all this stuff on the back end when I like rushing the passer. So I think at that time I was prepared for the NFL. I just think that sometimes the schemes of the defensive I was playing with, I wasn't happy with, basically. So, but in the end, I ended up playing 9 years, so it's good. So I enjoyed my time there.
Your time with Bo Jackson didn't cross, right? You guys didn't play together at the same time, did you?
Yeah, I played with Bo Jackson my rookie year, and that's the year he got hurt. Phenomenal athlete. Everything you've seen or heard or talked about him is true. I mean, he was a bad guy, man. He's just a pure athlete, and it was my pleasure just to watch him in practice and see him play, and it was phenomenal.
Is he the best athlete you ever competed against or with?
You know, a lot of people ask me that, and to see it close up, I would have to say he is.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, the guy was phenomenal, man. A lot of stuff you see of him are the highlights on TV and stuff like that, but to practice with him and just see how really fast he was. I remember when we played him in the Cotton Bowl, and he caught a little pass in the flat, and he went back across the field and went up the sideline. Seemed like everybody in the stadium went woo at the same time. You know, I still remember that. Everybody was like, God. You know, I couldn't curse, but you know, it was something else just to see him play, and then to get a chance to see him play with Tim Brown, and I don't know, I probably played with 5 other Heisman Trophy winners, but you know, it's something about him that stood out.
And Aaron, do you have any opinions on why A&M, for after your era, kind of had this up and down, one good year followed by not so good, one good year followed by a couple of not so good, and we're hoping that Coach Oko turns it around this year to double down on what they did last year?
I think that the Slocum years were pretty good. I didn't get to watch them a lot because, of course, I was playing. But as I've gotten older and been watching them over the last years and going through all the different coaches, I think that right now they're in a good place. I think Elko, whatever message he's sending to the kids, I think they're getting it. And it's just fun to see them go out and compete every week and be competitive. I mean, a lot of these schools, you know, you got the egos and all that. I think he's doing a good job of keeping that under control, and I think that he's doing a good job. And hopefully, we can turn this thing around and have a better year than we had last year.
Last thing for you, how are you going to celebrate this weekend?
Really, I will be in College Station. I'll probably go eat dinner after, and then I'm headed back to Dallas. And I got to go back to work. I got to make sure that my kids have everything they need. We're starting up football, and South Oak Cliff has a big game out in the Cotton Bowl. I think they're playing Richmond down in Houston, and it's a big all-day tournament basically for football, and we got to make sure everything's prepared and make sure that, you know, these kids get going. I'm going to enjoy it. I mean, I'm going to cherish the moment, but then I got to get back to work.
Well, Aaron, it's been a real treat of mine to talk to you here on the show. Thank you so much for making a few minutes. Congratulations on the Masters and your entire career. And I know you got a few more years left in you, so let's not retire just yet because you're impacting too many young people's lives, man. Thank you for your time.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Aaron Wallace there on the Bucky's Catering Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll chat with Reese Nygren on the other side. Right now, when it comes to your money and your peace of mind, it starts with the right team, and that right team is Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals, including 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise does run deep. At Paragon, credentials matter, and so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. We're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. A couple texts to get into. A 210 number says, "Hey, what up, Reese, Nuno, and Zane, listening from the back roads of North Carolina." No name on there, so I can't get fooled by saying the wrong, good job. And what else did we get? John in Cyprus, your good friend Reese, he says, "My favorite thing about the Wrecking Crew at Kyle would be when the ref would say Texas A&M has chosen to kick off, thus was before deferring. Jackie did it for field position and intimidation." That's the way to do it. What do you have over there at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center?
So CBS Sports released an article talking about college football coaches' records in big games, which a big game is against the AP Top 25. And Mike Elko in the SEC is at number 6. Number 5 if you take out Pete Golding, who is number 3 on the list in terms of winning percentage.
But he's got how many?
3. He has 3 games. He's 2-1.
Okay.
So Kalen DeBoer has the best winning percentage.
He does win big games.
He's 20-6.
But he lost 2 out of his last 20-6. That's going to take a while to catch that up.
He is 20-6, a .769 winning percentage. Kirby Smart has the most wins.
Yep.
Second, he's 42-17.
He's first in my eyes. I'm just guessing here. I could be wrong.
Okay.
When Kalen DeBoer was at Washington, I know he had some big-time wins in the top 10. I know that.
Yeah.
Okay? But I would assume a lot of those were Pac-12 wins when they were ranked between 15 and 25, which I think is different than SEC-level teams, because SEC-level teams, if you believe that they were the better conference or not, they were typically ranked. I mean, how many are in the top 10 right now, or top 12, like 6?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
So there's that as well.
You talk about like the USC's back then, and even like towards the end of his Washington tenure when Oregon had Bo Nix and he had Michael Penix. Like they had a few battles back and forth. Brent Venables, number 4 on the list, he's an even 9-9 in big games.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, last year he had a big year, and they took on a lot of obviously highly ranked teams. Does it show how many he won last year?
It does not. It just has their overall coaching career record. Okay. So Venables actually ends the line of people over 500.
Well, he was 9-9
in big games, so 500 or above.
Yeah.
Josh Heupel 12-16 in big games.
Okay.
Mike Elko 6-8. Steve Sarkisian 25-35 in big games. Lane Kiffin 15-26, and then you start to get down to people with a few. Silverfield's 6. Golish has played 6 total. Drinkwitz 7-19.
Well, I'm curious what Silverfield's record is going to look like at the end of this year now that he's in the SEC. Look, there's many ways to look at this list. I think when you look at Coach Elko, okay, takes over an A&M program that had just followed up 2 seasons of going 12-12, right? So I don't know if last time you looked, but a 500 team is not good.
No.
So that's what he took over.
Yeah.
The 2 years prior, they were combined 500. 7-5 the year before, 5-7 the year before that. So he takes over a team that had been floundering and has had some big-time wins here. He takes over at Duke. Remember, he's a very new coach and made Duke relevant.
Yeah.
And won big games at Duke that nobody would have expected. So I don't think you can look at these numbers as a 1-for-1. Now, you can look at what Kirby's done and be like, that's the gold standard.
Yeah.
You can look at what Kalen DeBoer's done and been like, there's a lot to be made about what he's not done at Alabama, but what he's done throughout his entire career. A name I didn't hear on there is Kurt Cignetti.
So they did it by conference.
Okay.
So Kurt Cignetti is the leader in winning percentage in the Big Ten. He is 6-2.
Okay.
So he's relatively new. Ryan Day, second, 27-11. Dan Lanning, 15-8. And then Lincoln Riley got a fair share of his wins from Oklahoma. He is 20-17. So 4 Big Ten coaches are above 500.
Now, let's do this exercise for a minute.
Okay.
All these coaches that are ahead of Coach Elko, what did they inherit? Now, let me go ahead and tell you, A&M has the same resources as all these other schools. So maybe it was coaching malpractice the years prior to why, but what did these guys inherit?
Yeah.
Because Lincoln Riley inherited, to me, an incredible program at Oklahoma. Okay?
Yeah.
Ryan Day inherited. Now, he did it. He's done a great job. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away from what he's done at Ohio State, but he inherited a national championship contender every year program.
Yeah, those Urban Meyer Ohio State teams.
Right.
Leading into Ryan Day. Like, come on.
Who are some other ones?
Dan Lanning at Oregon.
Dan Lanning inherited a program that should have been better. But certainly, like, they're not in the same vein that A&M was, right? But they were excellent, right? He took over an excellent program. Who else?
So you talked about Lincoln Riley. He's now at USC. I think USC was a solid program.
But when he took over there, they weren't.
They were on the decline. We move over to the ACC. Dabo Swinney, 41-28.
Deserves all the love he gets.
And then Rhett Lashley is the only other ACC coach with a 500 or better record. He is even at 5-5.
His first year at SMU was fantastic. We'll see how he follows it up this year. Some of those SEC coaches, what they inherited. Kirby inherited a program that had not won it, but was, I believe Mark Richt, when he was at Georgia, was an excellent coach, but did not get them to where they wanted to be. So he's one guy.
Josh Heupel at Tennessee.
That program had been up and down.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So he deserves credit. Lane Kiffin deserves all the credit in the world. He took over Ole Miss and made them nationally relevant. Who else is on there?
Steve Sarkisian at Texas.
I think Sark is interesting because he took over a program that, like Tom Herman, had some good years and some definitely bad years, but they did not reach potential. And I think Sark has been able to obviously take them to another level. And there was Sark.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it's not connected. Sorry, Nick. It's not hitting. I don't know why. It's just the way I'm sitting, I guess. But where was I on Sark?
You were talking.
There was patience with him. His first 2 years, they went. I think they went 12-12 in his first 2 years there too. So they had a very similar to what Elko took over. That was the first couple of years of Sark. So patience there absolutely paid off.
And then 3 of the coaches that have been at their schools for a little bit that are near the bottom in terms of winning percentage. Eli Drinkowitz is 7-19.
I think he deserves a lot
Missouri,
of credit.
but he deserves a lot of credit. Shane Beamer at South Carolina, 7-21.
I am not as down on people on Beamer as people are. I am not as high as people were 2 years ago. I think Beamer can be a really good coach at the right school, and it's hard to be the right. Steve Spurrier wasn't fantastic at South Carolina.
No. And then last one, a guy who deserves all the credit in the world, Clark Lee, 6-18 career record, but he brought Vanderbilt basically back from the dead.
I mean, if you would have said, don't say Vanderbilt, you would have said an SEC team went 10-2 and didn't make the playoffs, you would have been like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Nor would it.
They went 10-2 last year, right?
Yeah. If you had told me it was Vanderbilt, I would have been like, what? Vanderbilt?
We'll hit a break here. I believe we have Armani Watts coming up next. So we'll chit-chat with Armani Watts on the other side. Right now we're talking about the Rollo Insurance Group, where you get a personal agent, you get their cell phone number. You probably don't get their address, but you know where Rollo Insurance is on Highway 6 right here in College Station. But they're all across Texas, over 60 offices. Anywhere you go in Texas, you're going to find a Rollo Insurance studio. Well, not a studio, but a place. And when you go there, you're going to get the same kind of customer service that I've always gotten, whether it's home, auto, business, or ranch insurance. Start a relationship with an expert who puts you first. They become familiar with your specific situation, and they'll make sure that you're taken care of throughout your entire time with Rollo Insurance. So when you need advice or have a claim, you'll speak directly with someone who knows your situation. That's the Rollo difference. Check out the website, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. All right, let's check in at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. I got a couple topics we can get into, Reese, but did you have something for us?
So I did have something real quick that I saw also from CBS Sports. So they had two of their new-ish college football analysts, friend of the program, Charles Davis, and Super Bowl champion Doug Peterson, and they asked them how far they thought certain college football programs would do in the 2026 season. A&M was one of the teams that they asked them about. Charles Davis said, I have them as a contender in the SEC, but they barely miss the college football playoff. While Peterson said, I don't think this is a team that is going to make the postseason. So it sounds like Charles...
Which Peterson said this, I'm sorry?
Doug Peterson. Former Eagles and Jaguars head coach.
For some reason, I thought you said Chris Peterson.
Oh, no, Doug Peterson. So it sounds like both of them, at least Charles Davis has them being a contender. Maybe that's 9-3. Doug Peterson didn't sound like he was as high on the Aggies as Charles Davis was.
All right, so let's kind of take this down.
Okay.
It's we already kind of tackled people's opinions are what they are. Let's just everybody for a moment do truth serum. Not super fan theorem. Hey, I'm super fan. We go 12-0 every year. Carson Stein. Okay, there's that, right? I think we're 11-1. I don't care. Put me at quarterback. We're 11-1. Carson thinks that way. Then there's others that are doom and gloom. I have people in my family that are doom and gloom. Oh man, I don't know. I struggle to win 7 games. I think it's going to be a struggle. Then there's people like me that hedge your bets and like, you're 9-3, 8-4, right? Like that. I can see either way. Yeah. The reality of the situation is they probably are a tweener team, right? And why are they a tweener team? It's not just because of the schedule. It's because of the schedule / your more road games in the SEC than home games.
Yeah.
And so I understand why people would be like, if you told me any team in the country, you're replacing your offensive line and your defensive line, I don't care who they are, I'd be like, you got to take a step back.
Yeah. Obvious answer.
Like, that's an uneducated, and when I say I don't know how much better these guys are, and the one thing you won't know until you see it in a game is the chemistry.
Yep.
Right? But then if you want to argue with yourself, and I love arguing with myself, because my thing is, I totally understand. Like, I would do this. Every team that I talk about, and I forget who it was last year. I think I did this with LSU and Texas last year. I said, it is impossible to be better than you were a year ago when you're replacing an offensive line.
Yeah, it's a tough task. And like you said, if you had told me that an SEC team was replacing their trenches entirely.
That went to the NFL, by the way.
Yeah.
They're not replacing crap.
Not because they transferred out because they didn't like the results that they had. These were guys drafted to the NFL. I agree with you. I'd be like, I don't know. And then you factor in the schedule that A&M has, going to LSU, going to Alabama, right. Oklahoma, Texas, all that. I kind of agree that they're kind of like, you could see 7-5, you could see 10-2, like
in the SEC.
Yeah.
If A&M, with all the changes they had, went to the Big 12 this year, just for this year, I think they're a 10-2 at worst team.
At worst,
right? Yeah. It's not a shot at Texas Tech. That's just what I think about the level of talent that they have.
Yeah, you're comparing the middle of the Big 12 to the middle of the SEC.
Now, I take my maroon shot, okay? Shot. All right, and I want to be optimistic, okay?
Here we go.
Why I would be optimistic about that point in particular, because that's the only reason I don't believe that's the only reason I think people can be down on A&M. Okay? If I want to be optimistic, what I would say is, well, they did replace it with SEC starting talent. Now, there is no guarantee that those guys that they got from the portal, all 4 on the offensive line, are going to start for A&M.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Billy has, in his recent post, I think he had Blake Ivy probably on the starting lineup on the offensive line. So, but the fact that you got guys who have played at this level gives me a little more confidence that, you know what, maybe it won't be the bumps and bruises that we thought. That would be my reason. And then, sorry, I'm going to add to that. if they don't start with my voice going super high, Louis Molina and David Nuno, we both talk high. It's a both thing for us, Louis. Is that if those guys aren't your starters, it's because young guys in the program have developed and they are now SEC starting caliber offensive linemen.
Yeah. And it's a big boost to your program to be like, hey, I brought this guy in from South Carolina or wherever, and they're not starting because I've developed this 4-star, 3-star, 5-star, whatever, into being equal, if not better, to the guy with already SEC proven talent. I think that's pretty big. That's kind of a transfer portal get, because you're getting someone that maybe you weren't expecting to be ready this early on.
Right. So I could understand why people would say A&M's a tweener team, why people would say they're not going to make the playoffs. I get it. I also understand that people, even Aggies, maybe sometimes more than the national media, hold on to history. We don't have back-to-back good years or this and that, right? All I can say, and it's going to sound like a broken record, is I do believe in the process that they're doing across the street. Yeah. Right? So if they find themselves, the first half of the season, I think sets up nicely to where you're going to be tested against teams that can beat you. Mm-hmm. But I think you can kind of figure out who you are, your identity of this year's program in those first 6 games. Right? And if you go 5-1 or 6-0, that's great. You haven't accomplished jack, right? Yeah. You really haven't.
We found that out last year.
Right? But if you do that and you figure out, all right, we got our offensive line unit that works. Oh, we're getting after the quarterback. Our secondary, good luck throwing on this secondary, right? Our linebackers, we're not giving up the big runs. If I told you the biggest change that we're going to see this year is that A&M does not give up these massive runs. For instance, by the way, they don't lose the Miami game if they don't give up a massive run.
They don't.
They don't. You know why? Because they stop them where they should have stopped them. They punt. They have half the field. They kick a field goal. Game over. Okay, there's still a lot of time left, but
we get the point.
Yeah. The Texas game. I don't know if you win that game if you stop big runs, but running is what killed you in that Texas game.
Yeah.
And you couldn't move the ball until very late. That was a problem in the second half, in the third quarter especially. But in that Texas game, if you can stop Trey Wisner from these big runs, or even Arch Manning, I can't believe I forgot his name for a second, Arch Manning from eluding the rush and just running on you. Now, these are big ifs, and that was a problem that followed A&M all season. But if I told you your defense is going to be as good as last year's, they could be potentially better. Maybe not better getting at the quarterback, but
they got to be better getting turnovers.
You got to be better getting turnover and stopping the big run.
Yep.
If they stop the big run, they are playing against Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. That's how I truly believe if they don't give up that huge run in the fourth quarter in your own end zone, right, that set up their score, I believe you win that game.
And Ohio State did look pedestrian in that Cotton Bowl. Whether it was because they were playing Miami or whether
very possible.
It was just Ohio State, they did not look good in that game.
I'm not trying to give excuses because the wind and this and that. Miami had to play in the same wind, right? But I'm just saying if the way you played at the end of a season carries so much weight towards the way people perceive you the following year. That's why Marcel catches more strays than Arch. Yeah. Okay? And I'm okay with it. That's why Alabama is catching strays right now. They did win a playoff game, but they lost 2 out of their last 3 games, and they were embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's the way you play at the end. But by the way, the way you played at the end the year prior does not necessarily mean anything for the upcoming year.
I'd have to agree with that point. And you're talking about looking bad for Alabama in 2 of their last 3 games. Let's say A&M beats Miami in the playoff game and then doesn't look good against Ohio State and loses that one. Are we still having the same conversations as we are now, even though you won a playoff game,
right?
But then you turned around and lost, let's not say blown out, but lost by a decent margin to Ohio State? Are Alabama and A&M having those same conversations?
Coach Elko strikes me as a significantly smarter, better version of everything that I do in life. Okay, everything he's better. I'm making the comparison from a mindset point of view.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I did a half Ironman, I was horrible.
Still better than a lot of people.
But let's pretend that's not a half Ironman.
Okay.
Whatever event I was, okay?
Okay.
And I told myself this will never happen again. That's how they operate there.
Yeah.
My point is like, all right, we're not going to allow that to happen again. We're not going to allow these big runs again. So now we're talking about 18 to 22-year-olds. There's 11 guys on a play that are participating. You can't guarantee success because of a mindset, but I think you can guarantee being closer to that when you focus on your issues and you work an entire 9-month process on being better at here, here, and here. So this was a long way of responding to
Charles.
Peterson and Charles.
Yep.
Charles Davis, my dear friend Charles.
Dear friend Charles Davis.
That I get it. I might be on the same page as both of you. I might be. But I don't think anybody in their right mind knows anything, because whatever questions you have about A&M, I hope you have those same questions about LSU.
Yep.
I hope you have those same questions about Texas that's replacing people. We focus on the transfers that they got and how Arch finished at the end of the year. And by the way, I agree with the national media. I think Texas is going to be one of the 2 best teams in the SEC, as it pains me to say. But they also have questions. Ole Miss has got questions. Oklahoma has got questions. So all these teams that A&M doesn't have to play Ole Miss, but all these teams that A&M has to go on the road and play, they've got a bunch of questions too. If they had the reach of a TexAgs, their talk show host named Pablo Jones would be talking about this. I don't know if that last name fit with there.
Yeah, I think there was a different one that went with that.
Pablo Weeks. We're going to,
Okay.
yeah, that's more.
Yeah. That one.
Navid Dunyo.
Navid Dunyo.
David Dunyo.
For TigerAgs.net. Okay?
TigerAgs.
I don't know. He would probably be saying, hey guys, we got a new coaching staff, but we don't really know about a quarterback situation. What accent was that?
Very interesting accent.
What was that?
I actually don't know.
It was a country boy.
Yeah, it was.
Was it country? So I got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to the meetings. Anyway.
Frequent.
You base your opinions on what happened at the end of the year and on what the head coach has been able to do. Right? That's in this era of college football. And On3 says they got the second greatest transfer class in the history of the world. That's how people make these opinions.
Yeah, and we know how getting top classes goes. We had the number 1 class a few years ago. Didn't exactly pan out how everybody thought it would, but I mean, everybody has these questions about A&M. Can you point to a team in all of college football that doesn't have any major questions? Like Indiana's replacing a Heisman-winning quarterback with Josh Hoover.
Yep.
Like, that's a question. Georgia, I mean...
They're replacing wide receivers galore.
Yeah, like...
But again, because of the brand, I expect for Georgia to be fine.
Yep.
Now, what level of fine, we'll find out. Because of the A&M brand, people sometimes pull them back down because, hey, this is what A&M always does.
Yeah.
That's what Coach Elko has stressed about trying to change. We'll hit a break here. Come back with a final segment here in the 9 o'clock hour. If you're craving authentic Italian food here in the Brazos Valley, you got to check out Fratello Fratello Italian Cafe in Bryan. They're family-owned. They're an awesome restaurant where all the food is super fresh, homemade, cooking, crafted with every single ingredient out there, from recipes passed down through generations to locally sourced ingredients. They have it all. They've got the Fratello, which is one of their signature dishes. It's the name, but it's also one of their dishes. It's got like a calzone, but fried to golden perfection. They have daily lunch specials. And if you want pizza, they have the best pizza in town. Fratello Italian Cafe can also cater all of your big-time events. You need to stop by and check out their amazing food, especially right now if you're listening. Lunch is right around the corner. It is Fratello Italian Cafe, 3901 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. Discover why it's more than a meal. It's a tradition. Everybody, David Nuno here from TexAgs, here with some of our new friends from Frog Slayer. We've got the CEO, Ross Morrell, and the VP of Revenue, Jacob Stone. Ross, I want to start off with you. Who is Frog Slayer? What do you all do?
Yeah, Frog Slayer is a custom software, AI and automation company. We're based here in College Station. We've got about 50 employees right here, almost all Aggies. We've been doing this since 2005, about 21 years. Really what we do is we partner with business owners of growing businesses, And our goal is to come in, help them actually realize the promise of technology in their company so they can create a company that is worth more than is tomorrow, that is today, and run a better business.
Jacob, I do want to ask you, what's different about Frog Slayer's approach when it comes to AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't just do AI, we do AI right. And so what that means is we embed ourselves inside of our client's team, and we help them plan, build, and ship solutions that they can deploy to a production environment that anyone can use.
All right, Ross, I've got to ask you, why the name Frog Slayer?
Yeah, it's an old riff off Mark Twain quote. So he said, the hardest thing you got to do today is eat a frog. It's best to do it first thing in the morning. So that's kind of our ethos of doing hard things first. And it's also a nice tie into gigging.
Yeah, I love that. Jacob, let's close out. Where can we all find Frog Slayer?
Yes, you can find us online at frogslayer.com.
All right, thank you very much to both of you, Ross and Jacob. Check out Frog Slayer. Look at here, Jay Pops chiming in. You want to read this text if you've got the text groove open?
The J Pops one? Yes, I do have it. Texas A&M can indeed go 11-1 again with the schedule at hand. Me personally, I believe they will go 11-1 with a loss to either OU or Texas. What makes these wins possible is Marcel and the O-line playing together up to speed, and also the defense making some big-time plays.
That's right, Jay. If all those things happen, they can go 11-1. I prefer they not lose in November at all. If I were, if they go 11-1.
If you had to pick a loss, where are you putting it?
I don't want it to be South Carolina because I lose there too much and I want to enjoy South Carolina. Yeah. I'm not going to pick a loss. How about that? I'm not going to pick like, you know what? I want this.
That was a trap.
It's a trap. There's no way I win.
It was a trap question for you.
Yeah, no. I'm not going to pick a win. But I don't want to lose in November.
Yeah. I think if I had to pick one, it wouldn't be one in November.
Right? If I had to pick one, no, I won't. I'm not going to pick one. It's like picking your favorite kid. Are you the favorite?
I'm not. I don't know if I'm the favorite kid or not because my parents pull the. I don't have a favorite kid.
I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite.
I feel like every parent.
I don't have a favorite kid. I don't. Now a situation can make you like somebody more or less in that moment.
In the moment.
In the moment, I can be like, you're on the bottom of the list right now. But I start off the day, everybody's equal footing.
I feel like it would be a different answer if we weren't on air.
No.
I feel like
I will tell you the exact same answer after anybody who, Nick, speak up. Do you think that I have a favorite kid?
No, I've heard this spiel before, the even footing thing. I believe you.
Yeah. So you don't know me that well. Okay? First off, you try to tell me how to do the show in the first segment. Right?
I will admit I did not have the text line open. That was why I wanted to wait.
You try to have Natalie learn how to do the social center, and then you're going to tell her that I hate some of my kids?
I didn't say that you hated any
You
of your
said
kids. I said that you probably have a favorite kid.
I don't have a favorite kid.
Okay.
I can tell you who's more wired like me, and that's not a good thing, right? I can tell you who's sweet. I can tell you who's sassy. I can tell you who gets annoyed all the time. I gave you all 4 kids right there. We'll be back with Billy Liucci, I think. Well, hello, friends. Welcome into TexAgs Live. We are still presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and it is hour number 3 of the program. Billy Liucci should be here momentarily. We've got a couple practices to discuss with Billy. Looking forward to doing that, and we'll go through some of his 5 and 5 topics. So this should be a loaded third hour. But beforehand, as we tap dance, we go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Reese Nygren not only has what's popping on TexAgs today, he's got some things to chew on.
Yeah, I do. So we'll start off with on TexAgs today. And as David mentioned, we have few fall camps under our belt, which includes Sights and Sounds from Andrew Wu, Photo Gallery from Mr. Danny Grant. We have the fourth part of Billy Liucci's 5 and 5. Bronny has some snippets from fall camp as well. And then, of course, the three things from the man himself, Jason Howell. That is what is popping on TexAgs today. And I will immediately go into a topic I want you to chew on. And I don't know if you...
I say that all the time.
You don't like it when someone...
Is that like a thing that people say? Like, hey, I want you to chew on this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, what are you chewing on?
I feel like it's something that is said to people commonly. But
yeah, but I think you have to be 40 plus. I don't think anybody under 40 would say something like that.
Note to self, I will not say.
No, do you say it? If I didn't say it that way, would you have said it that way?
Very rarely, but I do use it here and there.
So I got to get younger. All right, go ahead.
So I don't know if you saw what Purdue's athletic director, Tommy
I saw a
McClellan,
tweet
said
about
yesterday.
it. I was like, is it a joke? Is it AI? Because I don't believe anything anymore.
It was real. It was real. He said in his introductory press conference, "We are here to win championships. If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana." Straight face, was not kidding, not even a little ha-ha. I don't know what he was thinking.
Nick, can you do me a favor? I want to do the Google game, okay?
Okay.
Can you Google how many championships Purdue has as an athletic program? It could be all sports. And how many Indiana has. Okay?
On it.
And then maybe we could talk about who's got the most recent one. Because in a sport that you know what I'm saying? Like,
Boiler-making national champion Purdue.
They may have an incredible women's basketball program. I don't know. They may have...
Purdue has 3 across their existence. Indiana has 25.
So is that close?
No, it's not.
Huh. Do you know what 3 of those are? And what years? Does it have that or no? I'm asking.
Women's basketball in 1999, women's golf in 2010, and men's golf in 1961.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So their last national championship was 16 years ago. I'm not saying that Indiana is this place that wins national championships all the time in the big 3 sports, but we just saw them win it like 3 days ago.
Yeah. They have 5 basketball titles, obviously the football title, but nothing in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about one of the premier college basketball blue blood programs in Indiana. Now, don't get me wrong. Purdue recently in men's basketball has leveled it up.
Absolutely.
But historically, Indiana has been a college basketball powerhouse. And then we also just saw them have a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and win the national title game. So I don't know what Tommy McClelland was thinking, but he should not think it again.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't know if we'll get Billy's thoughts on this or not, but let's go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. That's where we find Billy Liucci, the executive editor and co-owner of TexAgs. Billy, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm good, David. How are you?
Good, man. I don't know if you want to chime in a little bit, but did you hear that whole Purdue versus Indiana commentary?
Yeah, I mean, what was he was imitating what Signetti said.
Basically at Signetti's introductory press conference, but I almost feel like you can't make those comments after that team wins the national championship.
Of course, and that's why everybody in the country's ridiculing him. I mean, that's one like, hey, not we all, but I get what you're trying to do there. But yeah, let's not do that then. Not where Indiana's at, not where Purdue's at. Now, when Signetti said it, Indiana was at rock bottom, but Purdue wasn't much higher. So it wasn't like he said Ohio State or Michigan at that time. He picked Purdue. This AD picked the team that is the current Ohio State and Michigan, i.e. the defending national champ. So, yeah, it makes me question this guy's judgment. I mean, hell, at this point, let's just fast track him to be the college football playoff committee chair because he's shown he's got exactly what it takes to run that show. So maybe that's what he's shooting for. He's like, I want to be the committee chair by tomorrow, so let me say the dumbest crap imaginable, and I'll fast track my way to that position. So maybe that's what he was doing, but it was stupid. Makes me question his judgment in other things. What was the guy in politics that he ruined his career with that maniacal yell? Was it Herb Dean? No, that's
Howard Dean. Howard Dean. Howard Dean. Rah! When he does that, we're going to take back the White House. Rah! And then it was over for him.
like, there's something to be said for that. If you have some kind of insane moment like that, it makes you question, like, oh, damn, okay, why did he just do or say that? That makes me question. Well, that's what happened. What would happen to me if an A&M AD got up there and said that? You want to win championships, national championship, you come to Purdue. You don't go to Alabama, or you come to A&M, you don't go to Alabama, or something. Like, it's crazy. So, and maybe he was talking about basketball. And he could have done, that actually would have been pretty funny if he just said that and then just deadpanned the camera and said, in basketball.
Billy, for the record, they play each other the last game of the season, and I'm wondering if Kirk Cignetti is going to have any commentary leading up to that game, or maybe afterwards. I don't know if he's been asked about it. I haven't seen it.
I think Cignetti is the type that would do it afterwards and then do some kind of like mic drop and a post-game interview, like on the field,
Hey, let's.
I'm interested in Indiana.
Go ahead.
I'm very interested in Indiana this year. I want to talk when I get in there, but everybody's kind of panning A&M right now. Everybody's kind of, nobody's down on A&M, but like they're not getting the same kind of love this year. And even though the rankings are number 8, and they're sitting there at number 8 in the country. They were number 4 in the SEC in the polls. But I knew this was coming because they're getting nitpicked, and I want to talk about why and why I understand it, but why I think it's wrong here in a minute when we get on in the studio. But as far as Indiana, like, no one's doing that to them, and I understand they were really good before Mendoza, and people forget about that, but you go back and look, they were really good, and then they were obviously historic. Last year, they lose a ton. They really do. But at the same time, I really like Hoover at quarterback. I don't love him, but I really liked him at TCU. And now going there with what they did with Mendoza and the quarterback the year before, I feel like you'll get a better version of Josh Hoover. So they're an interesting one to me because I could see them. I haven't studied the schedule. I think they have a tough one. I could see them dropping a couple and being an early playoff exit, or dropping 3. Or I could see them being right back there where they kind of live in the top 5 all year. I mean, I just don't know what to expect in a Cignetti reload, an Indiana Hoosier reload. I don't even know what to expect in a Texas A&M reload. I mean, I think I do because we're so close to it, but again, that's why I understand people around the country maybe having a skeptical eye towards A&M because, like Elko said the other day, the A&M has not historically been able to stack great seasons, and it's like I don't even know what an A&M reload looks like, and we know what they recruit and portal like. So Indiana's a really fascinating one to me. I mean, again, they won a national title and were undefeated. Where do they go from here? How big is the step back?
I've got their schedule in front of me, and I don't think it's that ridiculous, Billy. I'm just going to read it to you real quick, and we can move on. But North Texas, Howard, Western Kentucky, Northwestern, Rutgers, Nebraska. Time
out. So this guy, Cignetti, wants to talk crap constantly about the SEC, and thank you, Alabama, for humiliating the conference against India. I hear more crap about A&M losing to Miami, who finished second to Indiana, losing 10-3 in a game that was tied at 3 with a minute and a half left and 3 shots from the 5-yard line for overtime at worst. And I don't hear nearly enough about Alabama and Texas Tech getting absolutely freaking humiliated. And that goes for Barstool and my boy Brennan Walker. Like, start calling Tech a fraud. Start calling Alabama a fraud every time their name comes up, like so many people do with A&M from last year. Let's call it what it is. Like, it's absurd. the way Alabama in 2 of their last 3 games. How about we call OU a fraud? I don't know who they really beat. They beat Tennessee and Alabama. Tennessee didn't even go to the playoffs. Alabama wasn't that good, and they lose on their home field to Bama and blow a 17-0 or 17-7 lead at home. So I mean, everybody that doesn't make the championship is not a fraud, but A&M is for some reason for playing Miami, down to the final play. So I don't get it. As far as Indiana goes, Signetti talks all that crap about the SEC and scheduling and things like that. Read those first 3 teams again. This is their entirety of their non-conference schedule. Please go.
North Texas, Howard, Western Kentucky.
Howard?
Yeah, Howard.
Howard. North Texas without the L, and Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers.
Yep.
They're the Hilltoppers, right? Or is it East? Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, that is a humiliating non-conference schedule, and they did it the year before. Who do they get in the Big Ten out of Oregon, USC, Michigan, and Ohio State?
They get Ohio State, they get Michigan, they get USC.
All right. I mean, I think that's okay. You get 3 of the 4. Do they play Penn State?
Nope.
No. They get. I don't even think Penn State's going to be great, but their schedule's so bad. But they get 3 of the 4 that I think are relevant there besides themselves. So I'll give them a little bit. Now, with that said, year 1 under a coach at Michigan, and I don't trust Underwood at all. I've got Indiana there. I mean, if they split with Ohio State and USC, what's their next toughest one you see on there, Nuno?
The next toughest one, Washington.
On the road?
On the road. On the road at Washington.
Okay. If they split with USC and Ohio State, they're probably going to the college football playoff. Whether they beat Washington or not, they could be sitting there at 10-2. So, and I think Indiana, pencil them in with that schedule.
Billy, do you want me to hit a break and let you in, or do you want to continue on the phone?
Yep. Let's hit a break.
All right, we'll hit a break with Billy Liucci there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll have him in studio. Aggie football the rest of the way, not Indiana. Way to go, Reese. It was all right. It was fun. When it comes to financial advice, independence matters, and Paragon Financial Advisors is an Aggie-owned and operated independent fee-only fiduciary firm that means that the recommendations are not influenced by commissions or proprietary products or sales quotas. So whether you're managing family, wealth, or growing a successful business, their team helps you and their clients make informed decisions with comprehensive planning and disciplined investment management. From many business owners, that means developing strategies not only to grow that business, but also preparing for one of the biggest financial events of that life, which is the eventual sale or transition of that business. What you need to do is visit paragon-adv.com and learn how independent advice can help you prepare for what is next. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, Aggie-owned independent, serving clients nationwide. And we're back. Only 18 minutes of music to enter this segment. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Let's go to Reese Nigren to start with this. I'm kidding.
Reese, what do you got?
Billy Liucci's with us.
So CBS Sports listed their top secondaries for the 2026 season in all of college football. If you guys had to take a guess on where the Aggies fell.
They listed
ranked,
1 through
ranked,
like the
1
whole...
through 10.
Oh, okay.
1 through 10.
6.
No.
Not on the list.
They are on the list. They are number 9 on the list.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I mean, read me some of the one. Okay, so here's the thing. Who's number 1?
Notre Dame.
Okay. I will give them benefit of the doubt. I know they've got some big name NFL draft picks returning and Marcus Freeman and what they do. Okay, who else?
Number 2, Miami.
They impressed me last year. They bring back
number 3, Oregon.
Sure.
All I know about them, honestly, is that they added the Perch kid from Minnesota. Go ahead.
First SEC school at number 4 is Alabama.
Okay.
Number 5, the second SEC school, Georgia.
All right.
Number 6, Iowa.
Skeptical.
Number 7, Utah.
Skeptical.
Sure.
Number 8, Oklahoma. One spot right above the Aggies.
I'm not sold on the Bowens being as good as people say. I don't have a problem if they're saying A&M fourth
in the SEC.
Fourth in the SEC.
It's pretty good.
One spot out of third. Bama and Georgia is kind of the two. I'm okay with that. And I think that's because I love this A&M secondary as a top tier SEC unit. You want to call them a top 10 in the country? I'll say sign me up if that ends up, coming to fruition. And I also understand. I don't think they should get credit based on like what we think the guys are going to be. Dalton Brooks and Ratcliffe on the back end. We have to see better tackling back there. We have to see it's a group that picked off as a unit one pass last year. Julio Humphrey had a great offseason, but he didn't play much last season because Will Lee and Des Riggs were ahead of him. So with all that said, I'm fine with putting them there. I'm actually pleased that they were in the top 10 by that ranking. I was kind of surprised they did. I'm glad they're getting that appreciation, but I think the upside of this group is terrific. I think people like Dalton Brooks. I know that Dalton, to me, needed to, they need to take better angles back there, make better tackles. But the last time I saw Jordan Shaw, he was doing a terrific job of covering Malachi Tony. Dalton Brooks in their last 3 games against so South Carolina, Texas, and Miami, 3 sacks. He had an interception against South Carolina. He forced a fumble against Miami, and then a game was it one game before that was Missouri?
It was Missouri.
Before South Carolina, he had the 50-yard fake punt and the almost 50-yard fumble return for almost both of them set up scores. He was really good in the Aggies' last few games against Power 5, Power 4 competition. So I think Brooks is a guy that could be a breakout, have that monster senior year. And I might say the same thing about Des Riggs. And then you got Humphrey, and Ricky Gibson, who a lot of these people I think forget about, that he was going to be one of the SEC's more highly regarded corners last year and then suffered that torn pec in game 1. And man, 2 of your safeties are captains. Tells you a lot about Ratcliffe and Brooks. And then you've got guys you've got a 5-star in Brandon Arrington. You got a second-year guy in Adonis Curry. You've got a veteran, very experienced guy in the nickel mix and Bryce Anderson. So that position, you've got his fellow LaGrange Leopard, Bravion Rogers, who's been here forever. I'm not talking about a monster impact starting type player, but when you're talking about depth and you go, okay, here's Bravion, who's going into what is it, Reese, year 4?
Yeah, year 4.
Year 4 and has if you count special teams and reps, he's played quite a bit. Like, there's depth. Miles, you got Miles Davis at safety going into year 3, who's a hard hitter. You've got, Tom Johnson in year 2. Chance Collins is a guy I've been writing about a lot. Go watch him when you're out at practice this week. Like, watch Chance Collins for a few minutes. Look at how he's built. Look at how he plays. And then a guy that another transfer that's not talked about enough is Tawfiq Bayard.
Yeah,
he's a stud. I mean, again,
he's going to play a lot.
Go look at his Colorado tape. Look at him this spring. He's going to play a lot. So safety depth, corner depth, nickel versatility. And you never know if Elko might say one of these safeties all of a sudden might be just an absolute steal at nickel. It's likely a Jordan Shaw, Bryce Anderson thing, but what if one of them just all of a sudden you go, wait a second, this guy's a game changer at nickel. Or if if it's one of the corners, like you've got a bunch of backups that could be complete studs at nickel. I don't know who, but if that's your starting lineup is the most basic of Gibson, Ricks, Ratcliffe, and Brooks, right? Then who does that leave? And who's that leave as your Shaw? Who does that leave as your backup? Okay, Bryce Anderson, Brandon Arrington, Adonis Curry, Tawfiq Bayard, like Julio Humphrey.
Yeah.
Golly, think about that and all the options that gives you for nickel and dime. So I think the secondary is going to be really damn good. I agree about Georgia and Alabama and OU also. So if they can be a top 5 secondary in the SEC and maybe better, I think this defense could be lights out. I have my questions about linebacker. Not that it can't be, but there's just so much unproven there outside of Sanford. And we got to see it. We got to see it from McHale, from Lockhart, from Coney, those guys in particular. So linebacker will be one that we watch closely this fall.
You talked about Brooks, but when you wrote about breakout performers in September, another name I wanted to bring up to you is Reuben Owens, because I said earlier this week he could be the key, but he could be the key to, I think, Marcel's success this year. When they were able to run the ball, he was a different quarterback, and Reuben at times was excellent last year. He just didn't finish the season as strong as he had played earlier, but if he has a big breakout September, what that can mean for this team.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if I called him and listed him in the breakouts. It was more of like setting the stage. Like his August to me is going to set the stage for how he does start the season. So I had like a couple of veterans like a Dalton Brooks and Reuben, but then I had Aaron Gregory on there and Bryce Perry Wright, the freshman defensive end. Just in terms of like what they do in August, I think is going to go a long way towards what we see in September. For a couple of guys, like how much are they going to play, meaning those youngsters. For a guy like Reuben, how big an impact is he going to have? Then they need it. And I think Morrow's a future star. I really do. But Reuben averaged, what is it, Reese? 5.8 a carry last year. That's a healthy amount of yards. And I don't feel like he padded up outside the SEC. You look at his games. What do you have? 140 against Mississippi State on 21 carries.
Yeah, 21 for 142 against Mississippi State. 5.4 yard per carry average on the year.
5.4. Then he had 5.4 is healthy too in the SEC. Then he had a 100-yard game against Missouri, and by the way,
13 for 102
had
and
the
2 touchdowns.
57-yard touchdown. And by the way, that Missouri defense, people want to rail on that. Oh, A&M played a third-string quarterback in that one.
That defense was legit.
Their defense finished 8th in the country, going through the entire SEC schedule. They finished 8th in the country. So he had 2 nice SEC games, and against Arkansas, he had those 2 big second half, if not fourth quarter, touchdowns. That was big. So, to me, Reuben the whole running game struggled so much against Texas and Miami, and Reuben mentioned it himself. He just didn't keep his feet in that Texas game, and I know it was something that went on most of the year. So I'm not just blaming it on the field surface there. Not in a way that it's a No, it was just like, for whatever reason, that combination of him running on that surface and whatever cleats he was wearing, he kept stumbling when he'd break out into the clear. He says it's something he's really worked on this offseason. And he was right. Like, yeah, I left some yards on the – there he is scoring against Florida. He had a huge catch against Notre Dame early in that game when A&M was trying to hang in it, down to the 1 yard line. He's excellent receiver out of the backfield. So, I would love to see both those guys be really good this year, because if they are, then I love this A&M offense. And it would also tell me the O-line's doing a good job. But Ruben's put in the work. You can see it physically. The question is, to me, is Ruben Owens going to be a rock-solid part of a 1-2 punch, or is Ruben going to be a breakout performer for this offense given the chance? Remember, last year was really his first full year to play college football. As like, you had a freshman year, and I remember Elko telling me about a practice they had last summer where he said, man, Le'Veon and Ruben were so good. We did a goal line thing, and those guys were just running angry, and then he was talking about what a great combination they had, and I think it was the most surprising position maybe to him when he got here, because he kind of knew of those guys, obviously. I think he was here when they recruited Le'Veon. He was. But to get here and go, damn, like they have a really good 1-2 punch, and then boom, sure enough, Ruben breaks the foot. He's out for the year. Comes back against Texas for 3 carries or something, and then at USC, what did he gain, about 40, 50 yards in that one? But basically missed the whole season. Last year was his first full year, and he was part of a 3-man rotation behind the starter. And then all of a sudden, here, okay, he runs for 640 yards or so.
639.
640, Reese?
Yeah, 640. Good.
I'm sure somewhere along the way they shorted him a couple of inches than a yard. 640 yards, 5.4 carry in the games we talked about. He's going to be a good back. The question is, how good can he be? Because I think A&M needs. They're not going to the playoffs without real firepower and real productivity in the backfield. It's just not happening. And by the way, we can talk about those last 3 games all we want, but the reason they got there is because of what they did in the first 9 games.
Which was run the ball.
They ran the ball either effectively or excellently. That's such a word. Effectively or excellently. They were somewhere in between there all season. And if you look against tough defenses, even like Auburn, 200-plus yards. Missouri, good run defense. In Baton Rouge. By the way, like, look at what LSU's defense did to Bama and to Oklahoma after playing A&M. After A&M ripped their hearts out. Like, look at what they did. Clemson, Vandy. I don't think LSU, like, regularly got gashed on the ground last year. And maybe by Ole Miss, maybe. But the Aggies ran the football against pretty much everyone until the end there. And I'm not sure what happened. I mean, part of me would say, if you were looking at who the best defensive ends in college football were last year, Stewart, Simmons, Bain, and Mesidor certainly make the list.
Yeah.
So that has a little bit to do with it. If you were ranking the best defenses A&M played last year, probably maybe 1 and 2, at worst 1 and 3 in your last 2 games. So that had something to do with it as well.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with 25 and 25. Right now we're talking about Bubba's 33. Last Friday I went there, had an awesome burger there, and on Mondays they have $10.99 burgers all day. So if you're in the mood for a burger, Monday night's the way to go. And if you're looking for Aggie football when the season starts and you don't make it out to Kyle, they'll have all the Aggie football games played with surround sound and the vibes and all the highs there. Wall-to-wall TVs when you go to Bubba's 33. You won't miss a single play from anywhere in the restaurant. It's really good food. I always get the wings. I had burger the other day. I'm going to have the pizza soon. They have great pizzas as well. It's Bubba's 33 in College Station on Highway 6. Go check them out. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal or getting ready for TexAgs Live. You never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. Yeah, it's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Shout out to Unrained Bourbon. Raised in Texas. They're having their grand opening tomorrow at the Wild Horse Ranch from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. They have tours, tasting cocktails, Wild Horse Ranch, bison burgers, free giveaways, and much more. 1022 Peach Creek Road, College Station. Should be a cool event.
I'm really looking forward to tonight. Seeing Jay and his dad, I'm sure will be there. Who I'm my breakfast buddy over there at Broken Egg most days. You can find him there, but I'm looking forward to tonight's event, and then tomorrow's open to the public. I actually took a ride the other day after dinner. Went down to Navasota, ate a little dinner. Zane was with me, and and his fiance, Big Pharma, and we drove. I said, "You want to go see some buffalo?" And they were like, "What?" And I just turned down there, took a drive by down the road, and you know, that we got lucky, and they were right by the
right there,
right by the road. A little herd of, not little, a lot of them. Buffalo, little babies, little baby buffalo, baby bison are adorable if you've never seen them. They're like a light brown. They look, I mean, so anyway, go out there, see that, drink some, what I think is going to be a really good bourbon. Can't wait for that. And then I think the facility is going to be pretty incredible based on everything I've heard.
One of the lines here: born in Kentucky, raised in Texas, all in. And so they got a cool history. Go to their website, unreignedwhiskey.com. You can learn all about them and check out their grand opening tomorrow. Billy,
might go both days.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Let's do 25 and 25, presented by Paragon Financial Advisors, and Aggie-owned independent.
Hold on. Oh, go ahead. Don't say who it is. Read the Paragon. I don't want to upset Precious McGee.
Okay.
By the way, Swope with another big hit last night. Precious McGee gets destroyed as Haynes King crosses the goal line to win it. You know, Swope went all in on King. Yeah. Now, they might both win, and A&M, well, A&M, they could all win. Let's say they might both win and A&M be the loser because Haynes King, the career he had, and then, you know, McGee was all in with Wigman and the season he had last year and could have this year in the Big 12. And that would be like, damn, A&M was the big loser. McGee had his, Swope had his. But the Aggies had Marcel Reed, who also had a terrific season last year. So it might be the rare instance where we're just happy for everyone. But, yeah, go ahead and finish that read.
So you weren't listening in the 8 o'clock hour when we said who this person was.
So we don't upset Precious McGee. No, I was not listening to 8 o'clock hour.
Let me finish
so I will be surprised. You can give me a hint. I want to probably try to guess it.
Visit Paragon-ADV.com. All right, here's my hint. Swiss.
How do you think he feels about Precious McGee? Swiss? What is Theo Mellon-Orstrom back?
I'm just saying Swiss. I bet you
don't
Reese
like
can figure it out.
Is he Swiss cheese? I don't like that if he's a DB.
If you didn't have...
It was a good hint.
What was that, Reese? Tell me what that was. A whip?
No, it was a... I feel like if I say what it was, it's going to give away the player.
Swiss. Got to make the sound effects.
Swiss.
Okay.
Give me another hint.
Elite hint.
Okay. Yoked.
Come on.
Yoked.
He's yoked.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but I'm like, there's a few dudes on the team.
Okay. Do you know why they call 1775 1775?
Yes.
Why do they call it?
Because it's the Texas Independent.
Well, the Army.
Okay.
Just
Swiss.
David is doing a Swiss Army knife. Is what David is doing this.
Like
that was fantastic.
It was.
That is a Swiss Army knife. You have to do all this.
I mean,
who the hell stabs someone like this?
Maybe not all of it.
That's very dainty.
But he went Swiss.
You didn't do that. You did this.
Okay, I want to get him in the brain.
What are you, Brad Pitt in Troy?
And obviously they're small, so.
This is what you were doing. Like, okay, so Terry Bussey.
Thank you. By the way, if you had any eyes at all, it's like in huge letters right here. And I saw you looking at.
I didn't look.
I know, but you can't see.
But I didn't want to. Oh. By the way, I'm going to get contacts. I doc Mike.
Shout out, Michael Reyes.
There you go. I love that everyone who's been to 2 days of practice all of a sudden, and not all the. I actually like the majority of the Twitter burners out there for A&M, but there's a couple of them that have just been mega haters of Terry Bussey, and just, you know, I wish I could say the word because crap on them is not doing it justice to Bussey last year and throughout this offseason. Anytime anyone tried to compliment him, they don't understand the path that Terry Bussey has taken so far. This is a guy that was a tiny high school in Texas, you know, played at a tiny level. So he did everything. Reese and I talk often about Dalton Brooks and what he did at Shiner because it's his area, but same type deal with Bussey. Like, he was the best player on the field every time they took the field. He was the fastest, have the ball in his hands every play, let him play wherever you need him to make an impact in a play. So you never truly specialize and develop like some of these kids at like a 6A program do at their respective position because he was so dynamic at that level. And all of the traits translated to this level, which is why he was a 5-star. Terry got to A&M late. He was hurt during track his senior year. He arrived at A&M in June when the rest of the class got here in January. He played corner, and he was hurt some of that summer. Played corner for half of fall camp, got moved to wide receiver, had basically a season of, hey, we'll try to get you the ball once or twice in a game by handing it off or some kind of easy play, but he was not a wide receiver. He was a true athlete, like you said. And then last year, kind of is, to me, like his first full year at wide receiver, but he also missed most of that offseason with injury. Now this year, and by the way, here he is running a kickoff back against Notre Dame that would have won the game in South Bend against a top 10 opponent at night in the final moments. He had some really nice returns last year as a punt returner in particular, and made some good catches. He kind of was one of the game savers against South Carolina, made that 4th down catch. But now you look at him, and I thought this time a year ago, he looked a little not out of shape, but again, this is a guy that missed a lot of the offseason, but he just looked a little more squatty.
Yeah.
Now he's added weight, and he looks, with more weight, still looks more leaned up. Like Terry is, I think, one of the most improved guys physically in this offseason. And then I was talking to people during the offseason and was writing about it. I talked about it. I wrote about it. Said, hey, this dude's a receiver now. He gets it. They get him. They understand how to use him. And you say Swiss Army knife, doing all this. You say Swiss Army knife. That's exactly, I think they understand, like, there's a lot of ways you can utilize this guy. And it is not dissimilar to Anais Smith. But Bussy is, you watch him run routes in practice. I don't know if you've watched him yet in the first couple of days. It just looks so much more crisp, so much different. And I kept trying to tell anyone that would listen, he was the best player on the A&M offense, in my opinion, for the first, I don't know how many practices he lasted before he had that high ankle sprain. Maybe it was 5, maybe it was 6, whatever it was, into the 15 practice fall camp. I'm not sure he wasn't the best. To me, it was him or Craver that were standing out the most on the offensive side of the ball. So he's a different player than Aggie fans remember him as. And I think you're going to see that this season. And he is like Isaiah Horton, he's a very unique weapon for this offense, as in he can do something that not a lot of the guys can. And I think they've got like 3 of those. And we see what they do when they hand the ball off to Craver. But Craver, Bussy, and Horton are all kind of different weapons at receiver. They've got a lot of different ways to attack, and then you've got the pure speed of someone like ABR. But Bussy's going to be a part of that receiving core that rounds it out. And again, you can give him a reverse. You can line him up at running back. You can get him matched up on a safety or even a linebacker, and it's going to be a nightmare for them. I think people forget they ran him on the goal line in that comeback against Auburn, and he fought his way into the end zone. He's just a really damn good football player. And sometimes you take those guys, and if they're from a small town, you let them develop a little bit. But I think more than anything, Nuno, he's now entering his 3rd season as a wide receiver after probably an entire football lifetime of just doing a little bit of everything. 3rd season at wide receiver, and his first full off season in a college weight room. And that's what you're seeing out there with Terry.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with one final segment here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. It is football season because the opposing fan bases are making their appearance here on TexAgs Live. Appreciate that. Billy, this is a question that you're going to hate, but we got two.
You doxed some guy?
I did not dox. His name's on his YouTube page. That's not doxing. If it's on there.
You also dropped.
I've got a couple of great doxes of the burner verse, but I'm just kind of biding. Just
waiting for that moment.
It's not even biding time, but just like, okay, you're filed away. Just don't cross lines with me, and we're good. Like, have fun. I don't want to, but like, you do. I don't care, and then you do enough where it's like, okay, I got to figure out. I'm actually quite savvy at that.
I think we're
crazily
both
enough. The person I found out, like a bunch of young kids in the office knew him. They were like, no way, yeah. So we do that.
I think we're elite.
And I think it's fair. I think it's fair to do that when there's like just a certain line where it's like, okay, you went over that with me personally, so here we go.
This guy made one comment
on
the YouTube page.
This guy didn't cross the line.
He dropped one comment on the YouTube page.
There was two.
And okay.
It wasn't even that. It was just stupid.
He said A&M is Texas' son, and then David proceeded to drop his LinkedIn on the YouTube page.
No, I didn't do that. Okay, maybe.
Golly.
I'm just saying, like, look, he went to SFA.
Whoa, this guy deserves the Swiss Army treatment.
Just saying.
How did you say that was good?
Huh?
He enjoyed it.
How did you say his hint was good? Like,
Swiss, 1775 Army.
Okay.
Knife.
Well, he said it after Swiss.
I mean, once he did the, I thought you would pick up on the like Swiss Army knife.
Why? Because that looked. I thought he was like a Three Musketeers. He looked like one of the Three Musketeers, or he was fencing.
So when he said Swiss and did that, what player did your mind go to?
None. Theo Mellan-Orstrom, the Swede, the big Swede. Like
I thought it was fantastic.
That hand gesture, I was like, oh, is someone on the team, were they an Olympic fencer, or did somebody?
See, I'm just
was
here, Billy. You're here.
One of our members were they in a play, the Three Musketeers? Like, I don't get it.
I mean, Terry Bussey did do everything in high school. Who's to say he didn't star in a Three Musketeers play?
You know what? I think I'm a Swiss Army knife of this company.
Are you confusing a Swiss Army knife with like a butterfly knife?
Yeah, but it was for more of a dramatic reenactment.
I'm pretty sure a Swiss Army knife, you just pull it open.
You pull it open and it's got little things.
Yeah.
Yes. But I wanted it to be.
You could have pulled it open and like did like a screwdriver with the little screwdriver part.
Pull out the wine. Uncorked.
Okay, I think I rest my case that was not a Swiss Army
Everybody else liked it. Hey, thank you for watching and listening.
That's it?
Yeah.
You can go extra?
Nah, we'll do we're going to do a Luchador soon because we got an interview starting.
We were planning on Sunday or Monday Luchador reprising it.
Yeah, we'll be
Brought
back.
to you by Poncho.
Show's over. Goodbye.